just sickens me.
I'm not sure what that means, but okay.
Listen, kids need to be going to the gym, not transitioning.
Okay.
Get your
I
pump.
didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. That makes sense. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know how much patience I'm gonna have for this today.
I don't think you do.
You didn't start off well, to be honest. Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Larry, how old are you?
23.
Okay, what's up?
So what's going on in this live?
Did you read the topic?
I barely woke up.
Okay, then why did you request? This is fucking weird. What?
I know. I don't get it either today. What is happening?
I just woke up, okay? I have never just
And I just wanted to random come here.
Hello.
Oh my god, how old are you?
I'm 18.
What year were you born?
I'm born 2007.
Oh, thanks.
No.
Fuck you.
Oh, god damn.
You're, yeah, I can.
What?
Usually.
Hello?
What? Hi,
Go ahead, next guest.
you can tell me in the chat. What's up? How old are you?
I'm 20,
What year were you born?
2003.
Okay, what's up?
So, you don't think that kids should be given a chance to be who they were born as?
That's what we're trying to do, is help children be who they are.
They were born as a boy or a girl,
Sure. Huh?
and it's not weird that they are able to just change that willy-nilly?
But they're not changing anything at all, and especially not willy-nilly.
No.
No?
No.
Why are we encouraging them to be something that they are naturally not?
We're not encouraging them to be anything that they're naturally not.
What do you mean?
Children's identities develop in the brain when they're young. They're not choosing anything. Now, we as parents typically assume a child's gender, and when we get that wrong, that's us getting it wrong. That's society having the child's identity wrong, not the child. So the child is correcting us.
But they are a boy. It's like, it's simple. Men are men, girls are girls, women are women.
Anyone like sort of genuine today? Anyone?
Wow, you get some doozies here, hey?
What is happening?
Mine are all quiet. They just come and wow, this is very entertaining.
It's not usually like this, this many like wild conversations back to back. It's something today. Hello?
Hello?
How old
Sorry, Hi, I saw that guy, he was commenting, saying that, why let kids be something that they're not, and I commented, bro, it's just clothes, bro. Because people don't get that. We just want to wear whatever we want to wear, wear our hair however we want to wear it,
Can't. Okay, I think you're trying to be like genuine here. Oh, you have a lag. That's what's happening. All right, what is your age?
I'm actually 31, and I've been out since I was 15 and hiding on social media for a little while and finally posting again. So I can tell you this, that from my experience of my pretty much gender social experiment of dressing however I want to dress in the USA, has been completed, and this experiment has told me that people just don't understand what trans or non-binary really is. People like, we just want to be who we want to be. Some people transition, some people don't. Some people wear whatever they want to wear, and some, wear a combination of things. I dress like a woman and a man, however I want to feel like it, and whenever I want to feel like it. And sometimes people that don't understand being trans, I just tell them it's just clothes, bro. It's just clothes. All right, depending who they are, how old they are, it's just clothes. If they're younger, it's just clothes, bro. Just to make it more relatable, because people don't understand. They don't really get that. You grow up, you're in love with a woman, and you're either gay or this or that or any kind of label. Not really. You just are in love with whoever you fall in love with. Most people can label themselves as pansexual, but when the thing is that being trans has nothing to do with sexuality, and that's what people get wrong. It has to do with how you want to be, how you want to present yourself, express yourself, your avatar, basically. What you wear is your avatar. And I think that's something that people don't understand. If you really want to understand who we really are as trans, non-binary kids, I still call myself a kid because I had to live my second teenhood as an adult. So people don't understand is that it's just clothes, it's just hair, it's just style. If you want to, you can't even tell. Sometimes there's men and women out there that may be your coworker, may be your boss, and you will never know that they are trans because they choose to not disclose such. So people really need to know that there's no borders, there's no gender, there's no labels. I'm Native American as well. There's no labels, there's no gender in our culture. I'm from Mexico, and we're just a combination. We're just people trying to be who we want to be and express ourselves and love who we want to love. And not everyone transitions, and not everyone, decides to look different in such an extreme way or do surgery, but they may be able to wear clothes that they want to wear and be comfortable. They may be able to exercise to a point where they don't feel uncomfortable. They may be able to, for example, I thought I was going to transition, but I'm like, you know what? No, I'm natural. I like being natural. I like being myself. I don't want to take a shot for the rest of my life. I don't want to, do all these different things. I think that even the state of the technology of transitioning has advanced greatly in the past 20 years, but it is not to where I think I'm comfortable with. It got to a point, I'm a scientist, so it got to a point where I'm like, I might as well just be a shapeshifter.
I gotta pause you.
Might as well be a shapeshifter. So kids just want to just wear whatever you want to wear, but go ahead.
I have a conversation with you, but you keep monologuing.
Okay.
You keep hitting so many different points and we can't keep up.
Go ahead. I just wanted to let you know that this has been the experience, and it's just clothes, and people just there's so many arguments.
It's not just clothes, right? Like for some people, so that works. So can you not see that the not misinformation, but the lack of teaching in that scenario, that might just be clothes to you, but it might not give them the knowledge that they need to understand why. They'll just shrug it off like, okay, it's just clothes, okay. But they still don't understand. So by having these conversations with people that don't understand, we're trying to offer education because, like you said, clothes can mean different things for people. Transition can mean other things to other people. And so there's so much that we can be teaching. And as an Indigenous person who is Two-Spirit and also a trans woman, I would love to have a conversation with you again. This is Mel's space, and we're guests here, and we can monologue. But I'm sure she wants to be able to have conversations and try to educate other people. But your story you sound very passionate about your story, and I love that for you. That's amazing that you found your niche, what you need, and that's amazing.
Of course, essentially gender is a spectrum, and that's what people really need to understand if they don't understand it at all.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, cool. Have a good day. Thank you. Yeah. So, and the thing is, we do advocate for thank you, Two Spirit. We do advocate for individualized care, individualized, like whatever you need to express yourself. Right? Cisgender people already express themselves all over the place, right? Like you can be a woman and express yourself masculinely, or you can be a man and express yourself femininely, or you can be anywhere in between. You can change daily. People don't typically seem to care too much if you're cisgender, but have a problem if you're transgender. Like there's a double standard in a lot of this. But yeah, and I do think that it's a little bit problematic to say that it is just clothes, because to some people it's not just clothes. And when we're talking about children, we're not just talking about gender expression. We are also talking about treating, if a child has a gender dysphoria diagnosis, what the treatment plans look like, and what type of care that they may need. So it's very individualized person. That's why we can't just make like a blanket statement when it comes to like how to be trans, right? Like that's not a thing, because it's going to look different for everyone.
I'm going to drop because I need to go have a shower, but I will come back because I just got to do my hair and stuff. So bye. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Definitely welcome to come back. I've heard that you take showers on live before, that you just leave and shower and forget you're on live. Okay, let's see how much more I can handle here. My brain hurts already. Hello, everybody. Hello. All right.
Hey,
This has been this morning. Hello.
hello, can you hear me? Aye.
Yeah. How are you?
Well, I want to have an input in this. I have 4 kids, and this here whole idea of gender ideology and all, it's madness. It's political correctness gone mad. The world has gone mad. Because they're all mad. And
What
I
are you
just
talking about? Okay, people. If you were in the request and I let you in, I need to know your age. I am the host. I should introduce you. Hello, what is your age? Instead of you just coming in and just start talking. I don't know what this is today. Stop doing that, please. Stop it. It's really annoying. I have no idea what he was saying. Not a clue. Because I wasn't listening yet, because I was trying to get the age. Age first, please. Please. Thank you. Good God. Also, let me set my sub goal. I would really love to get to 200 again. That would be amazing. But we'll start with 175. And, Jesus Christ. Okay. Breathe, Mel. Breathe. Okay. Also, I know that it's getting like really close to summer where people are like, there's gonna be a lot more children on here during the day. A lot. Hello?
Hello,
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 19,
What year were you born?
2004.
Okay, go ahead.
So
Hello? You're muted. I don't know what happened. Hello? Okay. By the way, you guys, newsflash on TikTok, if you host lives, like typically if you're getting, gifted, or if you're getting subscriptions, it has to do with you, like, thank you. It's 10 months. Thank you so much. It has to do with like support of the platform. Even though I talk about trans kids, I'm advocating for trans children. I try to educate on trans kids. Is mostly what I do on this platform. I do spend a lot of time doing this, right? It takes hours. And if people want to support, that is completely up to you. Of course, this is absolutely free to watch. So if someone else is gifting or subscribing, I don't know why you would have some type of problem with that, because you don't have to do that, right? It's kind of weird, honestly. Anyway, and I have not seen one person host lives on this app that doesn't get some type of support. So it's just really strange for everyone to shit on me about that. All right, hello?
Hi,
Hi, how old are you?
18,
What year were you born?
2006,
What month?
March.
All right, what's up?
Okay, I watch your lives all the time. I literally love them. But this may be a stupid question, but what's the difference between being so-called a tomboy and being a woman to a man or a female to a male? What's the difference between that?
Tomboy is just a word for girls who express themselves more masculine, right? They may dress masculinely, they may do things that are considered to be more boy things, right? But they still recognize themselves as girls.
Okay, that's really all I had to say. I watch your lives all the time and I love them. So
That was a good question. And then a trans boy actually has the identity of a boy, and you can be a trans boy which is assigned female at birth, and express yourself femininely, right? So your expression and your identity are separate things.
got it.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. A nice, genuine question. I love it. Anyway, tap the screen, share the live. Let's see if we can get on with the next one. Also, mods, I know I don't have a whole lot here. If my chat is too bonkers, let me know and I can switch to sub only, even if I need to do it temporarily. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it.
Yo, so I have
Hello?
a question. So
How old are you?
why
What's your age?
do you want to
What is your fucking age?
shut your mouth, do not scream at me.
Okay. All right. Again, let's go over this again. When you first get added, I'm going to say hi, hello, hi, and then I'm going to say, what is your age, or how old are you? And then you need to answer the question. Okay. This is for verification on TikTok. TikTok requirements are you have to be 18 to go live. Okay, and I also personally do not want to speak to minors on the internet. So, okay. I am just going to kick you immediately if you don't stop and answer my questions. It's not that hard. Okay. This is not a typical thing.
Hello.
This is really weird. Hello. How old are you?
I'm 18,
What year were you born?
2003.
Absolutely not. Why do I ask certain people to verify the year they were born? Because people fucking lie. They lie. People lie. Okay, let's go on. Oh. No, that is not projection. No, that's funny. Because I literally just proved it on the previous guest. So say what now? Hello? Hello? All right. Lovely accidental. Ugh. I didn't have a whole lot of energy when I started this today, and
Hello, how are you?
okay, how old are you?
18,
What year were you born?
2006,
What month?
March.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So, I'm gonna go with the title. Let kids be trans. Just saying. I got nothing against it. So basically, LGBTQ, it's been something that's been growing a lot lately and everything. And a lot of people don't really understand the LGBTQ community. They just don't accept them and they don't want to hear from them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of going a little too far because it's like, how can I say? They're going about kids being LGBTQ and everything. I get you're an adult and everything. You can make your own decisions because your mind is fully developed, because I heard that your brain is not fully developed until you're 25 and stuff like that. So
Right, it's a very specific part of the brain that has nothing to do with identity.
I know, but how are you going to decide? Okay, so let's say this. You were a kid. Let's say you're 14, 13. You decide to be transgender, right?
You don't. You're not making a decision to be transgender. That's the part
Okay.
that you're correct.
Okay. You are.
Because when I was 13 or 14 or 5, right? I knew I was a girl. Never.
Okay. You know you are a girl.
Cisgender kids don't. Cisgendered people don't even recognize their identity because it's been validated since they were born. Thank you. But transgender people do recognize their identity because people keep telling them there's something they are not. That's why there's a huge difference. That's why trans kids can recognize their identities. That's why we need to be believing trans kids when they tell you who they are. Does that, if you believe them, does that mean you're locking them in for lifetime decisions? No, not necessarily. You start small. You start by small affirmations, and you go from there, and you slowly will progress. And if it's not correct for the kid, if the kid has their identity wrong, then nothing happens. Because if you don't get a gender dysphoria diagnosis, which means you don't have clinically significant symptoms that are affecting your ability to function in daily life, you're not getting medical care.
Okay, so let's say a kid decides to, I don't know if they can have surgery, but they decide, okay, I'm a girl, like it's a male kid and he's 10. Okay, I'm a girl, I'm gonna get surgery. They get surgery. They're 18, they grow up and whatever, and they regret it.
If you think, right, if you use your brain and really critically think about this, do you think that surgeons are approving a bottom surgery for a 10-year-old?
I'm gonna be honest with you, the road right now is crazy. Anything could happen. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No.
It's kind of crazy. Anything could happen.
Getting approved for surgery at all is very difficult. At 37 years old, I had to fight to get myself a hysterectomy. It is not easy to get surgeries, and surgeons are absolutely not giving 10-year-olds bottom surgery. That would be wild.
But that's the thing, though.
They're not even developed enough for that. Not their brain, but their bodies.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was trying to say. Because I thought they could have surgery. It's my mistake. I'm sorry, but I thought they could have surgery already, even though you're young or whatever. Because you can't get married at 16 for parent permission. Why wouldn't they give you surgery or whatever?
Well, that's a problem too. Well, that's a whole other topic.
That's the thing, though. Because if the government let that happen,
really quick. Sorry, I have to address the topic. Hysterectomy, her hormones are out of whack. I still have my ovaries. You don't have to have a full hysterectomy. You can have a partial hysterectomy. You can learn about what a hysterectomy is. I still have ovaries. My ovaries still produce hormones. And if you don't, you get hormone replacement therapy. Imagine that. Okay, my hormones are not out of whack. Okay. Anyway.
and like I was saying, how are you gonna, okay, so you grow up, let's say this, you're fully developed, okay, you're at 20, 30, whatever, you have your surgery, okay, you identify yourself as a female, right?
Sure.
You identify as a female, but you're a male, you're born a male, you have a penis, you're a male, right? That's how we visually identify them. And you need to have a surgery or whatever. Like you go to the hospital, you get to an accident or something. They need to know your gender. For some reason, they need to know your gender you're born with.
They
Your
need to
born
know
gender.
They need to know your sex, and not in every case, right? And transgender people are very aware of the sex that they were assigned at birth.
Exactly. That's the thing, though.
Newsflash, doctors do need to know your medical history. They do need to know how to treat you. So that is something that you would have conversations with the doctors.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you get into a serious accident and you need a surgery as fast as possible. They're gonna call. They're not gonna go through your whole history first and then give you surgery.
What would they need to know then? What on an emergency surgery? Why would they need to know your sex?
That's what I'm saying. For some reason, they need to. I don't know, because I'm not really a doctor. But let's say there's a case that they're really. Let's say there's a case that they really need it.
Silly scenario.
Okay, silly scenario, but still, like I said, they might need to know your gender. Your gender is a male, right?
No, they might need to know your sex. They would need to know your sex, right? They might need to know your sex, and if they do, who cares? What does that mean? So we just don't let people be trans because one doctor in an emergency might need to know your sex and you're unconscious, so you can't tell them? So just don't be trans? What are you trying to prove?
I'm talking about you guys are fighting so much. Oh, I'm trans, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this and that. That is really if you're a girl and you like to be with a girl, okay, whatever. Congratulations, good for you, or whatever. Huh? But that's really not gonna change the person you are, because unless I'm gonna talk about a whole other thing right now.
That's a really good point. It does not change the person you are. Being trans does not change who you are. You're still the same person the entire time. Whether you change your expression or your body, you are still you. So why are you having a problem with people being themselves? It's weird.
Because I'm not having a problem with people being their self. There's a difference. People being their self in the LGBT community. Because there was one parade I saw, I think it was a long time ago. I can't really say the exact parade right now. But there was people going out naked, and it was a LGBTQ community. It was a LGBTQ parade. They were naked, and they said, okay, I could be with my body parts out and whatever, and it was on the street.
Naked people at a parade have to do with someone saying there's...
Because those are people, LGBTQ, and they say, oh, I'm LGBTQ, I got a right, or whatever. Like, you guys...
What are you talking about? No.
I'm talking about...
Because you're in the LGBTQ community does not mean you have a right to walk around naked. What?
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say. But
nobody is
always
saying that. I don't
some certain
agree with
people.
that.
I'm not
So
gonna
what
say
is
you
your
guys,
point?
but certain people think they really have power, and they say, "Oh, we're gonna make a parade since they don't want to accept us. Let's just make a parade and everybody walk naked and put in kids' mind they could be whatever they want. They could be trans, gay, whatever they
Pride's not
want."
even celebrated for that reason. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
I actually do. I'm talking about a parade that happened a long time ago.
Why is there pride then? What is pride? What did it start with?
Huh?
What is pride?
Pride. It's.
How was pride started?
I don't fucking know. I don't study no LGBTQ community.
Yeah, as a protest, right? It's not about let's make a parade because people don't like us. What kind of crazy claims are you making?
I don't give a shit. If you guys want a parade because y'all LGBTQ.
If you don't give a shit,
what I'm saying is LGBTQ went out naked in front of kids. That's what I'm trying to say. They went out because of kids. And it was kids, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. How the fuck LGBTQ gonna go out naked and y'all still fight?
So parades are typically if they're during the day, right? They're typically family friendly. And at night they may not be, right? And there are if you actually look at the parade's requirements, some of them are 18 plus. Either way, I don't know what parade you're talking about. Don't really care.
Well, you should, because
I don't know what the fuck that has to do with validating people in their identities.
Oh no, I'm just talking let kids be trans. I'm just talking about let kids be trans. I'm talking about that because kids was in the parade, and kids don't need to be seen like old man's body parts.
Okay. Does my topic say let kids go to parades where there's naked adults?
Let kids be trans, and those are part of. Listen. listen,
fucking
trans,
thing.
trans. Listen, trans is part of LGBTQ. Am I wrong? Right?
The T, yeah,
Trans is
trans
part of
T,
LGBTQ. It's LGBTQ parade. LGBTQ parade. And that includes all the gender. So if the kid identify himself as gay, he could go to the parade because LGBTQ parade.
Great, go to a parade. I'm going to a pride parade as a straight cisgender woman. I'm not even part of the community at all.
Okay, good for you.
You're allowed.
Everybody could go also. But it was mainly pulled to LGBTQ people. And people was naked. I'm gonna search it up and I'm gonna send you the link of the video after on your DM.
Give a flying fuck. I don't think people should be naked.
Exactly. So you're basically saying.
I don't
So you're basically saying. I don't give a fuck if
be
young
naked.
children see other men's penis or.
Did I say that?
Say
Did
other
I
men's.
fucking say
You
that?
said you don't give a flying fuck. So you
I
don't.
just said the opposite. I said I don't think children should be in front of naked people. That has nothing.
But you're
not a
literally saying.
goddamn thing. To
What
do with
you're
my
saying
topic.
right now is
By the
you
way,
don't give a flying fuck.
Shush for a second. We have 1 minute left to complete the sub goal. If 2 people would like to subscribe, if not, I don't care. I just saw the timer, so I would appreciate it if you do. And you don't have to, because guess what? You can still watch for free. Because I don't give a fuck. Okay. So anyway, the parade thing has nothing. Absolutely. I don't know what I was trying to say. Nothing to do with my topic. So would you like to go back to my topic or like go away? Which one?
All right. Okay, I'm gonna finish my phrase and we'll go back to the topic. What I'm saying, you said I don't give a flying fuck. So you're basically saying I don't give a flying fuck about kids seeing penis or whatever. Okay, let's go back. You said I don't give a fuck about the parade, and that was what I was talking about the parade.
I don't know how many times I specifically said I don't think children should be seeing naked adults. That is not what I said. So stop misrepresenting what I say. Okay. All right. Let me set up a new live goal. We did not complete the sub goal, and that's totally fine. Let's see. What do I want? What is the desert wolf? That looks cool. That's expensive though. Ooh, what's this? I'm not gonna sing, but I want to see it. So there's a bunch of new gifts. Anyway, all right, tap the screen, share the live. Because she's immature, I'm annoyed. I'm trying to have genuine conversations and no one wants to have them. So I'm just gonna play along with their silly little games and be silly myself because this is annoying. Okay?
Howdy.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 21.
All right, what's up?
So, your question or your statement, like kids be trans. What identifies as a transgender then? Is that just the mentality?
It's support children, no matter who they are.
Children who think that Santa's real.
Why
don't understand at all what's going on.
Why do some children think that Santa's real?
Society.
Is it really society? Not really. No.
I'd say so.
It directly correlates with parents telling a child.
I would disagree. I feel like teachers up until a certain point also
the reason
support
why
that.
the reason why I'm saying parents, right, is because children typically are with the parents for quite a few years before they go out. Like even if they go to like daycare or whatever, right? It has to do with the parents teaching their children about Santa Claus because like that's where it's within their home, right? I chose not to teach my children about Santa Claus, and they never thought he was real, like ever, even though society and other kids around them would. They just didn't have that idea, right? But either way, does Santa Claus develop in your brain?
No, does being mentally retarded just develop in your brain?
Jesus fucking Christ. That is a slur, guys. That's a slur. God damn it. Why, Mel, why do you get so annoyed by all of your guests? Why do you get so annoyed? Oh, I don't know. Search up San Francisco Pride Parade 2015. I don't really really care. Again, if there are inappropriate pride parades, and there's children there, and they're advertised for children, I would have an issue with that. Stop me.
Yo, hello.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 19.
What year were you born?
I was born in 2004.
Suspicious. All right, go ahead.
So, why should we let kids be trans?
Because some kids are trans, and those kids need support.
Would you be okay with letting kids vote and drive cars and drink and gamble?
Oh my God, you think you're the first person who's ever brought that up?
No, it's a genuine question.
That's not genuine.
Well, why do we have ages to do those things?
Why don't you tell me? Why?
Because children can't make decisions.
Great. Are those medical care?
No, but they're life decisions that
So
can
being trans
affect
is
a
not.
child's life.
That's why it's not comparable, right? Because being trans is not a life decision. It is something that develops in your brain. Your gender identity develops over time.
Well, the decision to transition is, I would call that a life decision.
Okay. Decisions to affirm yourself. Yeah, they're not real decisions though. Like,
Yes, they are.
no, they're really not, right? Because the thing is, when you're a child, you go through puberty, right? And your body's going to change anyway, whether you want it to or not. So if
It's still a decision that you make.
if your puberty does not align with your identity, what is wrong with trying to help a child go through the correct puberty that does align with their identity to cause them at least
What's wrong with it is that the child doesn't know what's right from wrong.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. A child
Let me explain.
know that the puberty that they're going through is wrong for them.
Because they were taught to believe that they can change
No,
genders.
they're not taught shit.
Let me explain. So when I was young, I wanted to be an astronaut.
Okay, is that your gender?
I love Star Wars, and I wanted to be a Jedi.
No, we're going to talk about gender identities. We're not
Okay,
going to.
well, this is the comparison.
It's not a good comparison because you even just said you wanted to be an astronaut.
Right, like kids wanted, like a little boy wants to be a little girl, or a little girl wants to be a little boy.
A child who's transgender is not wanting to be another gender. They just are.
Yes, they are.
No,
They're wanting to be another gender.
No, they're
That's-
not.
Then what is it?
I'm going to give you a resource. You can fucking look at it or not. I'm not going to have this argument with you. There is a website by the American Academy of Pediatrics called healthychildren.org. There are actually multiple articles on there about gender identity in children, but the one that I can specifically talk about is literally called Gender Identity Development in Children. Okay, healthychildren.org. It talks about how gender identity naturally develops for all children. So this is not decisions that people are making. These are literally who these kids are, and these kids need support, period. If you don't want to educate yourself on this, if you don't want to educate yourself on why gender affirming care has already been in place, why there are WPATH guidelines, like, I can't help you, okay? Okay? Okay. W man, I don't give a fuck. Right? Because he didn't understand what he was talking about. Santa Claus does not develop in your brain. Wait, was that the guess before? I don't know. I forgot. Like that's literally how wild all these conversations have been today. Does anyone have any genuine questions? Anyone? 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 Oh my God, there's so many requests. The request that I get with me being alone versus not is so insanely different. So different. So different. I have 28 requests right now. The other day I had 67 when I was alone. Hello.
Hi, hon. How are you?
Great. How old are you?
I'm 28.
Are you driving?
So,
Are you driving?
no, I am not.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I am outside on my lanai right now.
All right.
So, I got a question. What are we calling a kid? Like, how old are we talking here?
A child under the age of 18. I'm just
Okay.
referring to him as a kid.
So I believe, okay, in the whole cross-dressing, and if you want to be what you want to be, I'm all right with that. Okay. You want to go by these pronouns, you want to go by that pronouns, I'm fine with that. Okay. You want to, if a boy wants to dress up as a girl, or a girl just wants to dress up as a boy, I'm all right with that. My line stops at the surgery.
Okay, surgery typically doesn't happen until adulthood, and in very rare cases, it could be 16 or 17, depending on extreme circumstances. So,
And there are some cases that it happens earlier due to children asking the parents, and the parents
no,
giving in and signing the paperwork.
no. Sometimes a child can get a surgery approved at early ages for insurance purposes. But no, and especially it's not about asking a parent and a parent giving in. That's not how it works. Getting surgeries is actually very difficult. Any types of surgery, really. There's usually a whole process to make sure that people want to have a surgery. But when people get surgery, transgender people specifically, it is one of the least regrettable decisions that trans people make about themselves. So,
Right, but that demographic is the older adult generations and whatnot. That's not taking into account the 16, 17-year-olds. Like
16-year-olds, right? So 16 to 18, like what's the huge difference in them understanding if they would want top surgery at 16 or top surgery at 18?
So top surgery, I am partial to. I'm more looking at the bottom side of the surgery, because that is a big leap, and that is a big step for someone to take.
It is, yeah. So it's typically not approved until 17. And again, rare circumstances. And a lot of times when 17-year-olds get approved, it's because they graduated high school early and they used the summer between high school and college for recovery time.
So, like I said in my previous statement, I don't mind like the cross-dressing. I don't mind the you want to wear this, you want to wear that, you want to go by these pronouns.
Great. Why do you think it's up to you though on like if someone else supports their child in a surgery at 17? If you think they need to be 18, why does that matter on your opinion?
Because it's a big leap, and if it is all right with the parents and it is all right with the person, they have actually thought about it, go ahead, go do it.
Of course.
But
You are absolutely not going to get approved for bottom surgery under the 18 unless you've gone through the entire gender affirming care process. Nobody is saying that they should get approved for this without going through the process correctly.
And like I said, it is a big step, and sometimes people do back out of, they'll take the hormones and whatnot, but they won't get bottom surgery. Like they'll get top surgery done, but they won't get bottom surgery done. Which,
a lot of
kudos for
don't
you.
get bottom surgery at all.
But if you won't be trans, be trans. Like my brother, like my niece now, is trans, and I love her to my end of the world. And she came out and told me, she's like, I'm a chick. I was like, all right, cool, high five.
Okay. Great.
But it's more of some parents that grew up in a certain generation, a certain household, not knowing and not what is the correct word I'm looking for? Acknowledging the fact of the matter.
What fact? What do you mean? I'm so confused. Okay, for me, for instance, right? My daughter came out at 13, right? So she
Like the fact of like, I am a woman trapped in a man's body, or I am a man trapped in a woman's body, and
it feels for all trans people either. But my daughter, for instance, right? If she came out at 13, she started gender affirming care. She started HRT at 14, right? She's now 15. If for some reason, we haven't even talked about bottom surgery, but if she wanted top surgery at 17 before starting college, why is that not up to me, her father, her, and her doctors?
it is up to you guys, but society will look at it as a different way.
Well, that's too bad, right?
And that I would say the same thing. Too bad for them.
Too bad for society. Yeah.
But society nowadays is starting to
Yeah.
embrace the fact. It's starting to. It's in its infancy. It's starting to embrace the fact of you want to be this, you want to be that. Cool, high five for you. But the biggest thing is, okay, like, don't throw it down people's throats.
What? Okay. What do you mean by throw it down people's throats?
If I were to misgender you and whatnot, like if you still have the features of a woman per se, but you identify as male, I say, hey sis, how are you? And you dig in real quick and you're like, oh my God, did you just assume my gender and whatnot, and rah, 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 instead of like saying, hey, you know.
Why are you making that about you and not about them? Like maybe that's the 5th or 6th time they've been misgendered in the last hour. Why can't you just correct yourself and move on?
But
how is
like,
that?
Like if you tell me like flat out like, hey, you know, I identify as a guy, all right, my apologies. Okay. But if you come at me and dig me on it and you make it a point.
No, I completely disagree with you. And that's not shoving it down your throat. That is you making a mistake, right?
I know, and I will own up to my mistake if you like when you correct me and whatnot, like, hey, you know, like be cordial with
Their
it.
reaction is probably valid, right? They have reasoning behind that. They may get misgendered all the fucking time and it's really annoying, right? People come in here all the time and are so disingenuous that the next time someone has an indication of being disingenuous, I get really pissed off, right? Because it's not the first time. It was the 17th time, right?
Right, and
Come back and be like, okay, fuck. But sometimes people should be able to see where they're coming from.
Right, and I do, like if it's like the 18th, 19th time, okay,
Right?
I understand if you blow up a little bit at me, and
Misgendering.
look, I apologize, and 9 out of 10 times they're like, I apologize for blowing up at you, like it's not your fault.
Misgendering can be incredibly harmful to trans people. So you need to, if you misgender someone, just take a step back, take a breath. Oops, I'm sorry. And move on. Move on.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But if you blow up at me right the fuck away, I'm gonna take that step back and be like, I didn't know.
So what?
But there's no reason to blow up about it.
Brandon.
If you still have the same features and whatnot, you're gonna be misgendered anyway.
And is that their fault?
No, but that's when you start correcting people and you go, hey, I go by this. All right, cool. My apologies. And I shake their hand.
Just move on. Like, why are you making it such a big deal about and making it about you? Also,
that's most of society nowadays. That's most of the good society nowadays that are trying to embrace this.
good society.
The good part of society nowadays that are trying to embrace this and actually taking the step and being like I acknowledge who you are and I respect you for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you should be ready. Like if you're afraid of misgendering someone, then just default to they, them pronouns or don't gender them. But if you gender them incorrectly, be prepared to correct yourself. It's okay. Like your name is Braden, right? If someone,
Brandon.
see, it's Brandon. Your name is Brandon. Mm-hmm. So if you have to correct someone constantly about it, they're saying your name is wrong, it might get really annoying, right? And you may snap at someone at some point and be like, God damn it, my name is Brandon. It's me that fucked up, right?
That's fair, but at the end of the day, people would go, yeah, I apologize, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I blew up at you, wasn't your fault.
Why are you putting it on them? You're the one who made the mistake. No,
Right.
I'm sorry, Brandon, that I
And
can't
if I
read.
and if I misgender someone, I'll take a step back and go, I apologize, that's my bad.
Good. That's what you should do. And then just move on. Their reaction should be irrelevant. Because you were the one who made the mistake. So you can own up to it. And someone correcting you when you're wrong is not shoving it down your throat.
There are times that it does go a little far. Like so when people would blow up at being misgendered, they'd be like, and I've seen it on the news before, I've seen it on other sites too, and they will blow up and almost act a victim. And I hate to use that. I really truly do.
A victim, they are a victim.
But if the person doesn't know, then
So what?
if they're not acknowledged of the fact, so that's like if I was working on a car and I went for a 12 millimeter socket when I needed a 10.
That's not a good comparison. No. That's silly. That's silly. Again, if you misgender someone, correct yourself and move on. Stop making it about you. It's not about you. You're the one who made the mistake. So you shouldn't be upset with them and put it on them.
Right, and I apologize for it every time it happens. Like I go, my bad. Like I apologize. I didn't know. But if you still keep blowing up at me and be like, you should have known, and oh my god,
It's not even a real thing. Come on now.
it is.
No, it's not. It's not. That's just silly. It's
About
really
three out of 10 times, it's
You don't think that maybe some of these videos that you've seen are fake?
some, yes, and you can, if you look at them, you can distinguish which ones are fake and what not scripted, and
No, you can't. Not necessarily. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Either way, why can't you just accept that if you misgender someone, correct yourself and move on?
I do, but if you
Why are
still
you making
keep,
this a big
if
deal?
you still keep going, oh my god, you misgendered me, this, that, and the other, and
There needs to be more context, right? Have you misgendered this person multiple times?
I misgendered this person once.
Then that's not a typical scenario that you're talking about. They're not going
I
to.
misgendered one person once, and I have misgendered another person a couple of times because I knew the person before they went through the transformation.
What about you? Okay. I knew my kid, right? Before both of my children actually changed pronouns. And anytime that I fuck up, that's on me. On me, not on them. Me.
Right, and you take a step back and go, shit, my bad.
Exactly.
But if your kids would look at you when you mispronoun them and go, oh my god, I can't believe you really did that. Like, you're supposed to be my mom. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then I have to go, I am sorry.
Especially you about it.
Do better. I will do better. I will do better. Because it's on me, not on you. This is not your fault. It's like if I call my kid my dog's name, right? And they're like, Mom, you keep calling me Nacho. And they get really annoyed. I'd be like,
That's a good name. I'm not going to lie. That's a good name.
I am sorry. This is your name,
Like, I'm sorry, my bad.
not you.
It takes time to get used to.
It does, but stop putting that on the other person. It's not
And
about
I don't. Most times it's my fault. And I go,
What that
fuck,
does,
my bad.
especially if that person is in your family, what that does is it's telling them that their identity is too complicated for you. Like, so a lot of times people will give in and be like, okay, you don't have to use my pronouns. No. If you actually give a fuck about that person, put in the effort, gender them correctly.
Fuck up. Like for the first month when my nephew turned into a niece,
So your niece.
It was hard to like she changed names and everything, and I was still calling her by her dead name.
Yep.
And I was like, shit, my bad.
Yep. Didn't turn it.
And it takes time to get used to, is what it is. But
that's not the fault of them, though. That's not their fault.
And it's not. And what I'm trying to get to is it takes time for society to get used to something new.
So
It takes time for a family to get used to something new.
But what you're doing, Brandon, is you're putting the fault on that person. Just because it takes people time to get it correct, it's still on you. So if you need to pause before you gender the person, or if you fuck it up, correct yourself. My youngest child uses they them pronouns. That was incredibly difficult for my brain to like get there. And I did fuck it up way more often than I did with my other kid. But I still would correct myself. And sometimes my kid would get really annoyed at me, and it wasn't their fault. So I would just have to suck it the fuck up and do better.
But I feel kids under the age of, I would say 13, 14. I don't care if they cross-dress. I don't care if they go by they, them pronouns. Okay. But the hormonal stuff and the pills and the surgeries are for later in life.
The if the earliest you can start HRT is 14. So.
And I feel like the talk can be had with the family, and it is the family's decision in order the benefit of the child.
Great. Okay, so again, 14 is the minimum age for that.
And if you want to start hormonal at 14, 15, 16, I'm all right with that, okay? Which means you gave it thought, and you gave it ample time, and you were like, I want to do this. All right, cool.
Cool. Time requirements are, that's a requirement, yeah. You have to be living, that's the identity that you're identifying with for a long period of time. There are requirements. There are things in place. I'm not going against you on that. I don't think people should just be able to walk into a doctor and get hormones.
Absolutely not.
But you were still arguing with me about being like misgendering someone. Like, why can't you just take a step back and see that that's on the person who misgendered the person and not on the other person?
And like I said, I do. Okay, if I misgender you and go, hey, you know, I go by these pronouns, not these, I'm sorry, my bad.
Okay. Great. But it doesn't matter how angry they get with you, just suck it up. Don't make it about you. Don't be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's just so hard for me. And then you make it about yourself. Don't do that. I'm sorry.
If I misgender you and I say, I'm sorry, my bad, and you still blow up at me and you make it a scene for everyone else,
suck it up.
Then I have an issue.
Suck it up. I don't know why you can't get past this. It's not about them. Suck it up.
If I apologize for something I do and you still blow up at me and you make a scene about it, even though I apologized about it.
It's not about you, Brandon. It's not about you. You are not the victim. The other person is. So just relax. You misgendered. Move on. You don't even have to say anything else. You apologize, correct yourself, move on. If they're still going and going and going on about it, just sit there and take it. Suck it up. That's it.
If I'm gonna sit there and take beratement for
God, Brandon, I'm done.
something I apologize.
You just keep repeating yourself. All right, I'm going to read you guys something really quick, and then we're going to move on. This is on the trevorproject.org. I really like this website. If I can find the right article. I went to Understanding Gender Identities, and that's not the one I wanted. I wanted A Guide to Being an Ally. I'm going to read this. I know people are going to leave because it's not hostile at the moment. Mistakes in saying sorry. What to do if you've offended someone? While we rarely intend to hurt others, common mistakes such as forgetting a person's pronouns, using their birth name instead of their chosen name, or misgendering a person can hurt feelings and put a person's safety at risk. In these moments, it's good to have a roadmap on how to make things right. Listen. Unfortunately, it's common to avoid listening to those you've hurt, whether intentional or not, as it inspires uncomfortable feelings of guilt and shame. Stay in your discomfort and be willing to listen, because this is how we can grow. And then be accountable. Take responsibility for your actions, privileges, and experiences that you hold, which can contribute to your biases. Don't dismiss what the person is sharing with you. Justify your behavior or defend your intentions. This isn't helpful to the people that have been hurt, and it shifts the focus away from the people who have been harmed onto your personal feelings of guilt, shame, and defensiveness. You hurt them. Don't make it about you. Remember, intention is not impact. The best apology is one that doesn't make excuses, invalidate the other person's feeling. And then commit to do better. Treat it as a learning experience. The most authentic apology is meaningless if there's no change or if the behavior is repeated consistently in the future. Show that you care by doing better next time. If you misgender someone, whether it's someone you know or a stranger, sit down, shut up, and fucking listen to the person. And if they go off on you, sit in your discomfort and take it, because you are the one who messed up. It's not about you. It's about them. Period. That's it. Next. Okay. Are you serious? Yes. I am serious. Hello, Bish.
Hello, darling.
Hi, let's see how much this changes now that I'm not alone.
What have I missed? I just got home from running errands yet again.
Oh, when I'm alone, it's very, very different. If you can
Thanks,
see
everyone.
the amount of requests that we have going on here.
Good times. Thank you, guys. I can whoever else gifted me. I appreciate it.
Hey, hi Mel.
Can I be an air fryer? No, you cannot. Hi, how old are you?
I'm too old to tell you. I would say upwards of 40. So I'm 42.
Oh, I'm older. You're a chicken nugget to me.
Oh. As long as you don't dunk me in any sauces, I'm good.
I might. We don't know. I'm crazy. What you got?
So, do you know what? I'm really intrigued with your life. To be honest, it's something that interests me quite a lot. So a bit of background. So my best friend, she's a lesbian, but now she has changed her identity, and she has now become a he, him. And even though he is my best friend, it sort of takes me a while to sort of adapt to calling him by his new pronouns.
Okay.
And I mean, when it comes to,
Did you hear what I just read?
no, sorry.
I was wondering.
I was just talking about what to do if you misgender someone. One of the best things to do though is to really get your mind to get yourself committed to it. Is you don't need, and it's actually problematic. It can be harmful to gender them like the way, like before and after they came out, right? Differently, right?
Yeah.
So their identity is actually what is their identity?
Is he, him.
Right. So their identity is of a man, or they use he, him pronouns. So you need to always refer to them as he, him. Always, like even in the past, even when you knew them from before.
Yeah, and it's funny because even when he was a her, we always message as a we'll say hi, bro,
Hold on.
and we would also we would always.
Hold on. Oh, okay. Even when you just did that, it wasn't he was a her. You could say even before he came out or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Always refer to him as his identity as you know now.
He, yeah. Oh, he's my bro.
Yeah. So, Chizzy, since you didn't hear the thing that was shared, I want to encourage you to, after you this live, go to the trevorproject.org and go to trevorproject.org/resources.
Okay.
One of the resources you're looking for that's going to be specifically helpful for you, I think, there's there's a ton of things there, but there's something specifically called How to Be an Ally to Trans and Non-Binary Youth. And it kind of really walks you through the experience of someone else, how you can support someone, what to do when you misgender someone, which is what we were saying about earlier, like right before you joined, and other things that might be like a great way for you to be a supportive ally. I would say check out that site. It has a lot of good things that might help you on the way, as well as is a friend of yours, PFLAG. PFLAG is Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. Was the old version. PFLAG.org, I believe, / it's also some reports. And the top left, the very first that comes up is support for transgender family and friends.
Okay. And also as well, this may create quite a few arguments in the comments. Obviously from the UK, we're quite liberal over here. Yeah. And the one thing that sort of confuses me is that in America, you have to be 21 years old to drink alcohol in certain states. Mm-hmm. But then at 14 years old, you can get HRT. I don't know. It's just absolutely crazy.
Help us out real easy, actually. The difference between those is alcohol is not healthcare. No doctor recommends healthcare. Recommends alcohol as a form of healthcare for a child. Mm-hmm. That's a huge difference. So they're not really analogous for that reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get that. I don't know. Personally, I think genders should be discussed a lot earlier in schools.
Yeah, absolutely. We need education. You can't change someone's gender by having education. All it does is creates more awareness and mitigates bullying. No one's like, I want to be that gender now.
I'm not sure if you read my earlier comment, and it infuriates me when I hear people saying a male trapped in a female body or a female trapped in a male body. It's not it sort of makes it feel like they're trapped when actually it's more of a realization that they want to be something else. It's not an entrapment at all.
It's not, you're on the way. It's not that they want to be something else. It's just who they are.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So, and I hate the word when they say trapped, because trapped has got such a negative connotation to it. Mm-hmm. When actually, if somebody's saying, "Oh, I'm a man trapped in a woman's body," that negative connotation means that they are being withheld from something. When in today's society, people are able to say, actually, I know that I've always been a female or I've always been a male.
Right.
So I think if we can get rid of the negative words surrounding trans people, especially with kids as well, then I think it will become a lot more acceptable.
Sure. And that's why education is so important. So that's why you definitely want to check out those resources, and I encourage everyone in the chat, especially the hateful people, check them out, seriously, because they will help give you some insight of language, of thoughts, and just things that can help improve communication.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, I appreciate the links into, you know, sort of any sort of education on understanding, and you know, I will always put my hand up when I misgender somebody, and say, look, I apologize, I shouldn't have done that, because it is easy to sort of fall into that trap of misgendering somebody,
Yep.
unless you do it deliberately.
Right.
And constantly, then you learn by your mistakes, don't you? So
You should, yeah. And the biggest thing to remember, and as I just read right before you came up, is don't make it about you. Like, don't.
no, and I mean that Brandon guy. I mean, I don't mean to talk bad about people, but I will speak bad about him. But he just seemed to turn it all about him and himself rather than the wider conversation. So, I mean, sort of one of my examples is my eldest daughter. When she was younger, she was going through a little bit of a confused status, and she wanted to be a boy, and I fully embraced that. Me and my partner did, and we took her to Pride festivals because that's what she wanted, and you know, we sort of said, you know, it doesn't matter what you want to be or who you want to be, we'll support you. And it sort of helped her no end just to have that support from people she loves and trusts to make her own decision. If she decided that she wanted to be a boy, then yeah, I would have supported that. And, you know, if she decided that she is, you know, whatever she wanted to be, we were always there for her.
Well, I mean, that's great too, but again, that's another like misconception, right? Like the thing is, it sounds like your child just discovered that she is just actually a girl, and that's totally fine. But if someone is trans, they're not making a decision to change genders. Like they're just coming to a realization or recognizing that their identity is different than what people have been telling them.
Yeah, and I mean, if you were to sort of look back at sort of family photos, because she was our first daughter, you know, we were like, yeah, girl. I mean, she's 15 now, so it was way before the time where people were able to say, well, actually, we don't identify as this or this. So we were like, yeah, girl, dress her in girl things. And it wasn't until she started to get older, she decided to, she wanted her hair cut short, and she wanted to have more boy traits and things like that. So we as parents had to adapt to that.
Sure.
And do you know what? I mean, people always say that being a parent is difficult. Being a parent and having children that have got their own sort of identity is even more difficult, because the way that I was brought up, as I was always told, this is who you are, until I left house. Yeah, I left my home at 16, 18. Whereas now, children are adults a lot earlier than what we used to be. And I mean, Mel, I'm not sure how old you are. I would say that you're probably a lot younger than me.
Oh, wow, way to flirt.
I'm 1 year younger than you.
Look, Mel is married. How dare you?
But it's I don't know. I think people are stuck in the old ages where you have to be a man or a woman or a boy or a girl. And I think the more people realize that there are multiples of being a man or a woman, a boy or a girl, then we will realize that we've got a lot more in our society than, you know, we sort of implement on them.
Mm-hmm. Tracy, I want to kind of piggyback on something you said there about how you let your child kind of explore who they are. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, see, she changed her mind. Well, that's the whole thing. Whenever you allow your kid to use a different pronoun or their haircut, or, you know, that doesn't necessarily make them trans. That's just a person trying to find who they are. And that is them, because You can be a masculine girl and feminine boy, and that's still valid. You don't that doesn't necessarily mean you're transgender. So people have this idea that it's going to be kids are jumping to hormones because they want to wear a dress, and that's not what happens. One of the first things that after that, the next step, of course, will be working with a therapist and counselor. And it has to be a very long time of insistence, consistence, and persistence, which clearly for your child was not the case, which would make it very clear as people are going through this that your child would not be trans. So I think it's very admirable how you allowed your child to find who they are and be themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. It causes no harm. And you have a happy kid, right?
Exactly. And do you know what? I mean, I think with a lot of our upbringing at times is we're always told that, oh, this is what we used to do in the good old days.
Right. And
I mean, who can say that the good old days were the good old days? We were just told that they were the good old days.
Exactly.
Whereas now, people are given a platform where they can say, well, actually, this is what I consider as the good new days. This is who I am. This is what I want to be. So why not just embrace that? Because if we sort of squash that, then all we're doing is sort of putting a plug in people's ambitions or who and what they want to be. I hate having to, sort of tell people that the good old days for me should be the good old days for them. And I think we lose a lot of ambition from children, whether they are boys, girls, or whether they're girls that want to be boys, or whether they're boys that want to be girls. You know what? Just give them the platform, the opportunity to say, be who you want to be, and you create your own good old days when you're my age or our age.
Sure. All right, cool. So I think, I think
I'm looking at the comments, and there's a lot of people that are going gay.
Chizzy, the comments is where joy goes to die. We never care about the comments. Like literally.
Do you know what? I love reading comments because I can have so many clapbacks at people. And I will dive so deep into their history, and you can't see that because there's a guy called Michael that keeps putting things on there going gay, and I imagine that he had a golden rivet from his uncle from early. But he's just, I would say, uneducated and is a bit of an attention seeker. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Mel, just one question, because I picked up earlier that you've got two children, and they are both trans, aren't they?
Yeah, one is the trans girl, the other is non-binary.
Ah, okay. So, I mean, as a parent, I mean, when you first learn about your sort of the first one, how did that make you feel? Was it a bit of a shock, or?
Yeah, I was surprised. I had no idea. But it was more of like fear of society, which is why I'm here. It's why I'm here trying to fight and educate and try to make a better future. But yeah, and then my youngest goes, I think currently they're still going with agender. And the only reason why I say that is because I will say that they're in an exploration phase, which may be permanent, may not be. They have changed things a few times, so that's why I'm saying that. And but they have been really consistent with they them pronouns, and that's the only changes that we've made is pronouns, and I just refer to them as a child instead of a gendered child word.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. And do you know what? I mean, I think us as adults now, if we had the availability of what children have got nowadays, when we were younger, things would have been totally different now. I mean, I'm not sure what life was like in the US in the early 90s, mid 90s, but I know from
Not cute.
I mean,
It was not cute.
I mean, my personal experience is, you know, because I loved drama when I was in my teens. I was called gay by a lot of my family members because I was quite dramatic and I used to love doing drama. But it was always seen as a man-woman sort of thing.
Right.
And it wasn't until I sort of grew a little bit older and actually experienced the world a bit more that I was able to understand that, yeah, it's okay to be straight, it's okay to be gay. And I mean, it sort of points into different cultures as well. So, yeah, this is why I'm a massive advocate of multiculturalism and inclusion in society, because at the end of the day, if we just stuck with a man do good, women do this, we would be stuck in the olden days for time. And do you know what? I know that there are progressive terms in our society which need to be sort of encouraged, and that is a case of, you know, if a wee boy grows up as a boy because he's told he's a boy, but then he's like, well, actually, I want to be a girl. Fine, you know, crack on. It's not a problem. It's not my problem. Exactly. It doesn't harm me. It doesn't harm society. Just let them be what they want to be.
Exactly. We need to let kids be kids, whether they're cis, whether they're trans, no matter what they are. We support them and love them, and that's the entire message that people are missing. And I think
exactly. And do you know what? The key word there is love.
Yep.
And it's love and support. And do you know what? I mean, if they one day, I mean, I'm not sure if you've got children. All I can see of your name is the dish. The bish. Sorry.
I have 11 nieces and nephews. I am done. My tubes are tied.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, with kids, they will one day they want to be a fire engine. The next day they want to be a cat. The next day they want to be, you know, the sun in the sky. And why don't we just encourage it and say, yeah, okay, if you want to be the sun in the sky, perfect. If you want to be a cat, yeah, go ahead.
Because what you're going to find with that is whenever someone is like, what's different with people playing like you know, make believe like that is very different than someone's gender identity, because it's not what they want to be, it's literally who they are. And you're going to find, again, insistence, consistency, and persistence, which makes them very different. I see where you're going with that, but you know, it's such a different experience because people are going to latch on to that and say, see, they think they can be cats now, which is not the case. You know what I mean? It's kids are imaginative, love them and support them, but when it comes to their gender identity, recognize them for being exactly who they say they are. Insistence, consistency, persistence.
Yeah, and I mean, the one thing that I will sort of say as well is, you know, and this may come across as being quite harsh, but it's not a movement as such, but as a generation, we're going through a movement where people are able to express themselves a lot more freely. And it's going to take a lot of time for people to adjust and accept as well. Right. So this is where I think education is key, and acceptance and tolerance to a degree as well, where you have to accept that people will misgender people. And yeah, I'm guilty of that. But then you also have to accept that they were brought up in a time period where it was a very black and white sort of scenario. So I think it's for, you know, it's up to us as a generation and our children and, you know, sort of the lower generation to say, well, okay, this is where life is going, so we need to educate people on change and tolerance and acceptance.
I agree. Chizzy, I mean, that's why, again, education is so important. Like those resources like the Trevor Project, PFLAG, check those out because everyone needs to, because that education really helps support people, and literally it saves lives. This is the case where education is saving lives, and that's why it's so important. You see people saying hateful things. Well, that hate goes away, and it doesn't go away, but it gets less with more education. We really appreciate you, but we have a bunch of people in the box. Is it cool if we move on and have another conversation later another time? Is that okay?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. And
Okay.
you know what? I mean, I was I seem to be quite desperate in my comments. So I was like, please invite me because I've got a lot to say.
I didn't even see the comments. I go back and forth between watching them, clean them up, and then forgetting them.
Honestly, it's
All right.
I'm more than happy to have sort of another conversation because I think we're very fortunate nowadays. Is we've got the internet, and you're both in the US, I'm in the UK, and it is just having these conversations that will eventually spread out to other people, educate other people, and make them actually think, well, if I don't agree with it, then I can have a debate or I can have a conversation, and will hopefully, sort of open their mind a little bit to the way that things are changing.
Mr. Mel!
Oh, that looks amazing, whatever he's eating.
Cookie.
Oh.
Well, thanks, Chizzy. It was good talking to you.
Okay, yeah, no, it's good talking to you as well. Yeah, thank you and take care. I'll speak to you soon.
You
All
got
right,
to take
bye.
care. Bye.
I wasn't talking to you, but bye. Is that your husband? Yes, it is.
Wasn't mine.
All right. So here's the thing. I don't know if anybody's still here. Let's see.
You're still in the box. Man, hello, man. Going once,
Husband's
going
gender.
twice.
Now, like, if you actually watch me regularly, you know I have a husband. Like, that they probably didn't assume shit. So,
Oh, Tyler, you tried so hard for that. That was adorable. You tried, Tyler. You tried.
but L.
Tio? Going once, going twice.
No one's gonna connect. All right. I think what I'm gonna do, because I left.
Also reset.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna reset because it
Yeah,
doesn't
come
look like anyone else is really live right now. So I just think everybody ran away. So I'm gonna reset. I am going to start by myself because that tends to piss people off.
So bad. Oh my God, Mel's here. I don't know what that was.
You can absolutely hang out in the request fish, and I will. I'll add you when I run out of energy.
Sounds good. And I apologize if I disappear. I might fall asleep, so I'm going to see. Keep it. Hey, everyone in the comments, keep it spicy. I'll stay awake. Thanks. Love it. Bye.
Right. I'll be right back. Did you sneeze? Did you sneeze, Notch? Oh no. Hello. Let's try to see if we can get this party restarted. I can't believe it's already almost 1 o'clock, which is kind of crazy. I got on late. I got on a lot later than I wanted to because I was laying in my bed and I was lazy. Yeah. So. That's funny. Anyway, let's see here. We have no requests yet. I had so many earlier, like 30 something. Ooh, congratulations. Happy graduation. I don't know if that's a thing people say, but I'm going with it. My schedule, not that I have a schedule as it is, but things are going to change a little bit once my kids finish school next week. I don't know how though, exactly. Like I may be here more, I may be here less, I might be here at different times. Depends on how much my kids want to actually hang out with me. So we'll see. We shall see. They hang out together a lot, which is kind of nice. I want to see what this looks like. If somebody wants to send a mic, I just want to see what it looks like. Let's keep tapping. Tappity tap. You just don't get it. What don't I get? What do you mean? Maybe you don't get it? Does someone else not get it? Who doesn't get it? Who doesn't get what? Bish would like everyone to tap the screen to get to 20K, and I think that's an excellent idea. So tappity tap tap. Did you do a restart? I did, because we had a friendly that kind of made all the, I don't want to make it a negative thing. We had a friendly that made the rest of the ops go away, which was good because it was a good little break. Because honestly, the beginning of this earlier was absolutely bonkers. And what's interesting about my lives is they do go all over the place like that. I can have like a continuous amount of like friendlies and people asking genuine questions to a continuous amount of disingenuous. Oh, that's cute. It has a little like funny face. Not funny face, like a, I don't know. I'm not gonna try to make the face, but anyway, thank you for that. That was cute. What if my kid wants to be a mermaid? Well, children do pretend play, right? They understand the concept of pretending. It is a huge part of childhood development. It has nothing to do with gender identity. Not even close. Tappity tap, we are halfway to 20K. Is everybody watching someone else? Like, who else is live right now? It's not showing me anyone. Did Tashika come back? It's only showing RTP Talks, which is political conversations. Party Pony Palooza. That's an interesting name. It was much harder to say than I thought it was going to be. I can leave if you guys, if you want, I can go. I'm not really gonna go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. That's weird. Why isn't whose live is it? Is it Tashika's or AJ's or Ian's? Like, who's the host? Because it's not showing up, and it's strange to me that it's not showing up as someone that's hosting. AJ, really? Is Iana back up? So it's weird, it's not showing him. Oh, it's on Ian. Wait, whose is it? Ian's and AJ's. You know what? I don't know if I'm following Ian. Okay, so that's probably it. AJ has a new account. I'm not following that one. 5.0, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not following that one. I think I'm following 1 through 3. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was like, who the hell is live? Or is people in? That absolutely makes sense. As a lot of you know, I am not I don't consider myself to be a debater. I know that I am on Debate Talk. Like, that's just kind of the part that the algorithm sticks me in. But I am not like educated in debate tactics, fallacies. I know a little bit, but it's not even really something that I have any type of interest in. So that's why I don't do that. So people that are like, oh, Mel's not good at debating. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that, right? I never even tried to be, never claimed to be. I always just wanted to have conversations. So Shit, can you guys hear them? All right, it's not showing me that they're connecting. Are they talking? Do I have the glitch? For the love of God, please don't be saying slurs. Okay. All right, good. Phew, that was scary. Bish, can you request? Well, shit, I don't know if you're still here. I just want to try like a friendly. Can a friendly, like cowheads maybe? Someone request just to see if you. Okay, Bish is here. Never mind. I just want to see. Okay, you loaded.
Hey, what's up?
All right, I just wanted to see if I get this glitch sometimes, and then sometimes they come in and like say slurs and shit.
Shocking. Well, the good thing is I was out so I could knock them down if they did.
Okay, good. All right, hello. You can hang out. There's nothing going on.
Cool.
I didn't know if a bunch of people were going to want to come in to attack me, but they're over there right now. Studley, what's happening?
What's going on?
Not a whole lot. How old are you?
Ready? I am 60.
Cool. Go ahead.
I'm fixing to fart dust.
Oh my. All right. Well, great.
Maybe Metamucil? I don't know. Metamucil, fiber? But how are you? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't know how to solve that problem. Yeah. What's up?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what is with the trumpet having to be right in front of my face about trans and trans rights. I just don't get it.
What trumpet?
I don't get it. I mean, I don't get that, the AMA even said it's a mental illness.
Oh, wait, hold on. We're going to hold you right there. No, I'm going to ask for a citation because they did not say that. They did not.
No, it's got it. I mean, there's no way around it as a child.
Oh, God.
I see we're coming in lukewarm, Studley. We don't just get to say things. That's not true. The AMA actually supports transgender people, as does the American Psychiatric Association, American Pediatric Association, and 30 other organizations. So you're very wrong about that claim. You made that up, and that's not true. If you're going to claim it's true, I'm going to ask you for a citation. Okay? Otherwise, concede and we'll move on. What's up?
What's the AMA?
American Medical Association.
Oh, okay. There's so many of them.
Also the CMT, the Country Music Awards. Oh, CMA, damn it. I missed that one. I fucked up a dumb joke in the first place.
A nice try.
Having a mental illness is not a bad thing. It doesn't mean
it's not a mental illness, Studley. It's not a mental illness. You're wrong about that.
You know I'm right.
Is not a mental illness.
Yeah.
You don't have a Trumper in the house. I'm not a Trumper. I'm just a common senser.
Okay, great. Can you have a conversation with Bish and I and not the comments, please?
Be great.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, it's not common sense because if it was common sense, you'd be correct, and you're wrong. It's not a mental illness at all, and under no circumstances.
I have mental illness. It's not that bad to be.
I didn't say mental illness is bad. I said you're wrong to claiming being transgender is a mental illness. I think actually this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I support addressing it. But what you're saying is not true. Being transgender specifically is not a mental illness.
That's the problem. It's not that we have issues with mental illnesses or mental.
You will hear me quite frequently advocating for more conversations about mental illness. What you're saying in this case is not true, unfortunately. So you can't make that stance. We're going to be honest and correct about the information we share.
Well, facts are facts, and you can't run from.
Right. And I appreciate.
You can't run from it. I mean,
I appreciate the facts are facts, but what you shared was not a fact. So if we're going to talk about facts, what is the fact you would like to discuss? Because we're going to say facts are facts, and it's important we are just speaking in facts. So what's your fact?
Being transgender is not a mental illness. Fact.
Mm-hmm. That's
fact
correct.
number one.
Okay.
So what's your next fact?
You're right. Everything you say is right, and I'm wrong, and I have learned so much today that I am going to change my position, and I think y'all are just normal as hell. Does that work now? Can we all get along?
No, lying. I'm not okay with lying, honestly. I'd rather have you just say actually how you feel and not just lie about shit. Right? Like you could actually get educated on this and then be factual if you actually care about facts, like, and make sure that you say things that are factual. But I don't know if you actually care, because it did sound like you just have a very strong opinion against trans people.
I care for anyone that suffers. Okay? Anyone that may suffer trying to figure out who they are, what they want to be. I understand that. And nobody wants to, be confused or try to have to, why should I have to go out of my way to impress upon you what I am?
It's not about you.
Why can't I just be me?
Right, it's not about you. And actually, if you truly cared about people, which I'm going to call bullshit on that one, but if you truly did, you wouldn't have joined saying, why do they have the trumpet of trans rights in my face? I have to hear about trans rights. Because whenever someone says to me they don't want to hear about someone else's rights, that tells me right off the bat they don't care about that person. Because if someone was telling me about their rights, I wouldn't then pretend to care about them. You know what I mean? If you care about someone, you want to hear about their rights. You want to learn how you can support their rights.
He didn't run. He got a TikTok bean. And that is so fucking okay. And those of you who were here before I reset, right? I didn't get any violations. And everyone was wild.
Right?
I get that guess was, some of this shit was problematic, but I would have liked to continue that conversation. Maybe a little bit. Just, I kind of wanted to see what the response was to Bish. But now I get to reset again.
Woo!
So, yay.
I would say have a shot every time we reset, but, alcohol poisoning is real. So maybe don't.
Exactly.
Maybe don't do that.
All right, I'll be right back again.
Okay, if kids in the school, they say they want to be trans, that then we have to tell the parents because, and then you said, well, what if the school is the safe space? In that case, would it be like, how some states are very transphobic? Then would it be that some teachers would be like, no, because I can face legal stuff or whatever, or the parents can come for me? How would that be handled?
Well, unfortunately, it depends on like what state you're in and what school district, right? Because the rules are all over the place when it comes to that. Mm-hmm. But if schools are following like actual studies, mm-hmm. that outing trans kids to their parents can be harmful, and it should be up to the children's. If the children felt like they were in a safe space, they would tell the parents on their own. So how someone's going to handle each situation is going to depend on the location of the school, I guess. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I remember what you're talking about now with the Wisconsin thing. It was a principal.
Right. Yeah. My reaction to him was a little confusing because he wasn't explaining himself, and it kind of sounded like, well, that's not my problem, but it was like kind of is.
Yeah, he wanted to out like all kids to their parents if he found out, which can be very harmful to parents. It can actually cause parents. It can be harmful to children. It can cause children to be abused, to be kicked out.
Okay. Well, I don't mean to tokenize anybody. I've just met one person who went through transition. I've met trans people, but only one who, when I met them, was going through the process, like the beginning of it. Uh-huh. So, and he was, I'm saying he because he went from F to M. So he was 14 at the time. And, the school was like, well, he's a teenager, whatever. But when we say kids, what age do you mean?
Any age that a child has a recognition that they may have an incongruence. Like, the thing is, the topic is let kids be trans, but really what it's about is letting kids be who they are and express themselves any way that they would like. So even if a child is a girl, a cisgender girl, recognizes that they're a girl and they want to do masculine things or things that are typically more associated with boys, they should be allowed to do that. They should get support. So it just has to do with like any child getting the support that they need
But like you're not saying because a girl plays with more boy toys, she may be you're not saying that, right? You're just, okay. All right.
No, I'm just saying support kids. And if a child expresses that they may be trans, to support them.
And see now you have a daughter who is trans, right? So if she told you, is her pronouns her, she, her? If she told you that at school a professor is saying you're he, him, or whatever, would that be like a legal?
That would definitely be a problem in the school that she is in, yes. Because the school that she goes to is very inclusive, and they are supposed to be validating all children's identities. So yeah, I would have a major problem with that.
Has she had any issues with that? No. Okay. And I don't know if this is offensive, but at what time did she come out to you?
She was 13.
What was your reaction?
It took her a long time to actually say what it took her a long time to say that she was not a boy.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually was relieved because I didn't know. I had no idea what she was going to say. And then I had already been learning like how to support trans kids. So I asked her like what she needed from me. And she knew that she wanted to change her name and pronouns and her expression, things like that. And then I told her a couple days later that I was going to reach out to the pediatrician and go from there. Because at the time, gender affirming care was not banned. So.
Okay. Well, and I live in I'm not from the United States, but I live in the United States now. And I live in a city in Michigan that is incredibly, incredibly inclusive, right? So that's it, It's very friendly, it's very amazing. But the point of it is, when I think it was the last time we were picking governors, one of the big things was like they focus on my city because they were saying, well, there's an uptick on kids who say they're trans, and because it's becoming so normalized and stuff like. What do you think of it?
It has been shown that the newer generations are having children that are more comfortable with coming out. Or expressing themselves, or just having an understanding that they may not be on the binary, right? And any child who's not on the binary is under the trans umbrella. So just because the thing is people are almost like scared that if you're trans, that means that you're gonna want hormones and surgeries, and they may regret things, and all these things are definitely valid concerns, but that's not necessarily the path that all trans people take. Sometimes, especially if a younger kid, like my youngest child, just recognizes that they're just uncomfortable with pronouns that people use towards them, or just gendered terms, and they prefer gender neutral terms. They're still considered to be under the trans umbrella because they go by agender, which just means no gender. But there's nothing medically that they have any type of. There's no indication that they need any type of medical care. So yeah, anyway, the whole point is there are going to be more people that are going to recognize that they're not binary, but it's not because it's some kind of trend, or it's just allowing more children are being allowed to express themselves and to explore their gender, and they're just coming to the conclusion that they just don't quite fit on the binary. So.
And what do you think of now the country Peru saying is a mental health disorder?
I don't know anything about the country of Peru saying anything about trans people.
Yeah.
I would say that at least 32 world organizations disagree with them, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say that.
Okay, because one of the arguments that was placed was, how some people have a disorder in which they feel like limbs or parts of their bodies feel foreign and they need to remove them. And one of their arguments was how is that different from what trans people do?
Very different. It's not gender identity.
I'm sorry?
It's not gender identities. It's incredibly different.
It is, and the thing is that people who think those things need medical care, right? And then people who may want to change things about their bodies or may want to take hormones or something along those lines also deserve access to medical care and should get the proper individualized treatment that they need. So I guess that can be the only way to really compare those things. The reason why they like to make that comparison, though, is kind of to make it sound like wild, like, oh, if your kid wants to chop off their arm, like, would you do it? Like, no. But if my kid just wanted to get hormones, I wouldn't just do that either, right? Like, I would bring them to medical professionals, go follow the WPATH guidelines, educate myself, make sure the benefits outweigh the risks, make sure that they are living as their gender identity that they associate with. Oops. Again, all of the requirements. So it's just kind of a silly comparison.
No doctor is going to recommend that a treatment where the person has to, take off a limb. That's not healthcare.
Exactly.
Oh, this is you. You are the teacher, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that's the reason I entered here, because I want to ask, like, if a kid was feeling more safe telling a teacher their preferred pronouns, would that be a legal repercussion for the school?
Not in the state of California. In the state of California, kids are protected, so they can change their pronouns, their names, whatever they want at school, and they are not outed to their families.
Okay.
So it does happen all the time. I do have kids a lot of times in the beginning of class, when I have the attendants who will come up and tell me that they go by different pronouns, by different names. It's not an issue.
Okay. And see, now, just Mel, going up by the other thing I mentioned about, Peru and all this whole thing, and the other thing they had was, well, gender dysphoria is a mental disorder. That's what they were saying. Is that true?
Yeah, gender dysphoria is a mental disorder, but gender dysphoria and being transgender are two different things.
It's actually considered a mental distress, right?
It's a mental.
Distress-based disorder. Hi, I'm back. So
it's because they use It's because people use illness. And
right.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I'm so confused. So, for example, the gender dysphoria causes somebody to say, well, I'm not comfortable in my body. Is that what they call the mental illness? Or?
It's distress, right? It's an extreme distress-based disorder usually about like specific things. It could be about like if a trans woman has a deeper voice, or a trans man having a period, something like that. Those things can cause extreme distress. It's that feeling of unease or having distress because of those things that are incongruent with their gender identity.
Okay, because the argument is if you are acting on the gender dysphoria, then you are, like by being trans, then you are it's a mental disorder, but not like acting on it. That's the argument. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just kind of silly, right? Because gender dysphoria is a mental health disorder that needs treatment. So depending on what the treatment is for the person, you getting treatment doesn't mean that that's a disorder. You're treating the disorder. They're separate things.
Okay.
Well,
but a lot of
people have anxiety. Like, if you have anxiety and you're treating anxiety, does that mean that you're? I forget the word that you just used. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Never mind. I don't know what I was gonna say. I forgot what you said.
But sometimes, though, people think being transgender, like which is having the incongruence between your gender identity and your sex assigned at birth, and gender dysphoria are the same thing, and they are not. They are completely different things.
So did your kid have gender dysphoria?
Yeah, one of my kids do. Yes.
Okay. Does that ever go away?
Yes. For some people, it depends.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, you guys. Oh, wait, I had another question. So but somebody who's non-binary, would they also have gender dysphoria or no?
It depends on the person. It's very individualized because you can be non-binary and still like you could have gender dysphoria like around your chest, for instance. Maybe you want to have a double mastectomy or something, or maybe you still want hormones if you're non-binary because your voice isn't quite deep enough, or some. It really depends on the person. It's extremely individualized.
Because some people say, well, this is something I've learned in this country, not in mine, because, you know, some things are different everywhere, but that non-binary people are trans. So when a kid says, let's say a kid who they categorize as a boy says, I'm a girl or a she or something like that, would that be a trans kid?
It depends, right? Like, so like my youngest child is considered non-binary, right? But they don't have gender dysphoria, so there's no type of medical treatment that's needed.
Mm-hmm.
And all they wanted to do was just change their pronouns from she, her to they, them.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too. How
Oh,
are
that was good.
you doing?
Hey, people.
Hi, Bish.
What you doing?
Hey, Bish.
Hey, what's up? Hey, dear.
Yeah, like still after all
I
this
know,
time.
I know. Every time he does that.
Did you time it when I add a new guest?
I do. I have almost 51 years of testosterone I have not been using. I gotta use it up somehow. What's up, Derek? How are you, please?
Derek?
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm 36 years old.
All right, cool.
Cool.
I don't mind my voice. I got throat cancer right now.
Oh, sorry. I hope everything goes very well for you. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I guess I hope all y'all surgeries go good too, I guess, right? Anyways, I think breaking this stuff on kids is like straight up pedophilia, and I just want to tell you all that.
Okay.
I just think y'all some fucking pedophiles.
That's not that easy. How is Derek? I want to have a genuine conversation with you. I'm going to ask you, as a person who's right now having going through a difficult time, I would ask you to show compassion to other people as well. Children getting healthcare, or anyone getting healthcare for that matter, does not mean we accuse them of something that vile and gross, because that's not what it is. That's a horrible character you're making, and I would hope you have more compassion for people.
I'm saying, I got a 5-year-old son, okay?
Right.
And he doesn't ask about that kind of shit. Now I'm going to school, being all confused and shit. And that right there, that's just wrong, man. You don't need to leave the kids out of it.
I think we're losing the compassion part.
Yeah. Easy question.
What's up with these drag queens going to schools and shit? Like, what's up with that? That confuses kids.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Derek. Okay, we're not going to do that. So, Derek, being a drag queen is not being transgender. If you want to have an honest conversation, it'd be great. I have a question for you that I want to just set the stage here. If your child, you said is a boy, or you believe to be a boy, said, "Dad, I'm a girl," would you love and support your child unconditionally? What would you do? I'm inviting you to unmute. Would you love and support your child unconditionally? Yes or no? It's the big thing in the middle screen. It says unmute. Tap on that.
Half your screen right now should be asking you to unmute.
Big old window.
You're not.
I bet you guys got the COVID vaccine too. Y'all listen to the health organization, don't you?
Oh, Jesus fuck.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I've had five, right? 5? Yes.
So Derek, you trust.
Okay. So maybe that's what's wrong with y'all.
So Derek, can you answer my question? Would you love and support your child unconditionally? Yes or no?
Obviously not, bitch.
Would I think I'm learning this lesson. I'd kick him out, bro.
What's that?
You would never be put in that situation. Because I love my kid. I love my children.
I don't think you
They
do.
would be put in that situation.
What?
I don't think you do.
I love my children. They'll never be put in that situation where they got to think if they're a boy or a girl. They know what they are, man.
They're not being put in a situation, Derek. The situation they're being put in is you forcing your things on them. You're forcing them to be something that they may or may not be. Let them be who they are.
My son was born with a penis. I was there when my wife gave birth to him.
Agreed.
I don't care about your child's genitalia.
Like,
I don't care about your child's genitalia. It's fucking gross.
You
First of all,
seriously your child was assigned male at birth, right? And it will give us that like indication, but you don't straight up saying it is fucking weird.
Derek, I'm going to say with all love, and I mean this, go kick cancer's ass. I hope you do. I want the best for you. Also, be a kinder person. Period. I'm good.
Seriously, have some compassion for other people.
We went to vaccines. Okay, so you trust some healthcare, clearly, right? I hope you're well.
God damn. Oh, rough.
Hello?
What was the feedback? Hello?
Do you guys hear my dog snoring in the back? No?
No.
Yeah, so
Not really.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
All right. Go ahead.
So when you guys say, and then let me know if I'm saying like words I can't say. I'm not used to TikTok Live or whatever. But when you guys say let kids be trans, are you guys saying like let them transition at a young age, or can you kind of explain a little bit more on that?
Depends on the child and what that means to them, right? Because like transitioning or affirmation, which is a better term because you're not actually transitioning from one gender to another, is very individualized. So what that looks like for each individual person can be different. But yeah, it's get a child the support that they need, whatever that looks like.
Okay, and then
I didn't realize we gotta go to lunch.
Oh,
Sorry.
Rude.
Bye.
Hashtag canceled.
Okay, so my only counterpoint to that is I would say most children, especially, at a very young age, they might say, hey, Dad, I think I'm a girl or a boy. And I would say, okay, that's cool. But I wouldn't say it's okay for them, if they want to transition physically, that's where I would draw the line.
Wanting to be a boy or a girl is completely different. Charlie, I forgot I have that.
Oh my God.
Wanting.
Right, that was Musa. That's not for you, my son. I'm sorry. That's threw us off. That has nothing to do with you. Jesus Christ.
Wanting to be a boy or girl is very different than being a boy or girl, right? If a child is saying they want to be something, then you can have a conversation with them on why they think that they want to be something. And typically if a child has an idea that they want to be a boy or a girl, that they may just want to express themselves more like what society deems to be boy or girl, but still have an understanding of their identity. So you do need to have some type of conversations with your kids and get clarification on what they need. But when a child is transgender, when they're
I'm gonna hang up if I'm mute.
What? They need a gender dysphoria diagnosis to have any type of medical care beyond therapy.
Okay, yeah. So I just find it, very, very hard to kind of wrap my head around where parents are okay with letting their kids, go through surgery or hormone therapy or whatever at such a young age, because there's a lot of stories where, these kids get older and they're like, hey, all that stuff I did, it, completely messed up my body. It wasn't really right. I wasn't, I was young.
Things, there are like studies that are done, right? And those things are actually incredibly rare. What is more common is that a child regrets having to go through a puberty that doesn't align with their identity. Trans people often have to try to reverse these things, which are very difficult, very expensive, very mentally draining. There's like lots of things that go into that. And the idea is to get the child to go through the puberty that best aligns with their identity and is less likely to cause them distress and trauma.
Okay. Yeah. So I get what you're saying, but I just can't really.
Do you actually have children?
No, I don't have children, but I do have. I grew up in a very religious family. I have family members that are, secretly in the closet, but
You hear
and I
that?
also have I have other cousins and stuff like that that have unalived themselves because they just couldn't come out to their parents because how we grew up and where I'm from. That's like something you just don't do. So I try to learn as much as I can about it, but it's like at the same time, like what I believe is once you're 18 or an adult, make your decisions. But I just kind of find it
Well,
hard wrapping my head around letting kids.
Musa, go ahead. What happens when they don't make it to 18? Because that's not an uncommon story. I mean, they often don't make it to 18. Then what?
Right, because a lot of times either they don't come out like you said, right, because they know they're not going to be accepted, or they attempt to come out and they don't get accepted, or they don't get the medical care that they need, or they have a parent who's denying them hormones or puberty blockers or whatever it is that they need, because they're in an extreme amount of distress. They're having a hard time functioning in daily life, right? So yeah, like Abish said, that is a reality of a lot of times that kids under the age of 18 have to suffer with. They may attempt or actually unalive themselves.
Now, the stat I'm going to give you. By the way, how do I pronounce your name? Because I feel like I may have said it wrong.
It's Muso.
Muso. Okay, I apologize. So Muso, this stat I'm going to give you is not only for trans youth, but it's for all LGBTQ. This is from the Trevor Project. Within the past year, 1.8 million LGBTQ youth considered unaliving themselves. This is why it's so important, because this is like literally millions of lives, right? Now, not all of them are trans, because I'm saying LGBTQ as a whole. But yeah, it's a lot of young lives, and many times they don't get there. So we have to follow the medical advice to help them live the best lives.
Right. So when you talk about wanting to have a child wait to the age of 18, if your reasoning as a parent or as a future parent or whatever it is that you're thinking about is because you don't want to be responsible for possibly supporting a child who's making a decision that doesn't actually work out for them or that they regret, that is harmful in the first place. Like, you have to support your kids as a parent. Like, that's your job, and you try to make the best decisions that you can, and sometimes you may get it wrong. But again, when a child is getting any type of puberty blockers or HRT under the age of 18, it is because they have a gender dysphoria diagnosis. And gender dysphoria is extreme distress. It's not just being uncomfortable. Like, it literally affects children's ability to function. They can go from being an amazing student to failing classes, to having lots of friends and being super social, to not wanting to leave their room, to not wanting to hang out with family or friends, to staying isolated, to it can be things like self-harm. They can suffer from severe depression, anxiety. These are all things that are they can't shower or get out of bed. They don't brush their teeth because they don't want to look at themselves in the mirror. So it starts to cause a lot of other deeper issues. And then again, like self-unaliving ideation. If you have a child who's in that situation and you don't get them medical care, that is very harmful to that kid.
I would go as far as call it abuse if you don't get your child medical care they need. I would say that's using abusive for the child.
Okay, yeah. I hear what you guys are saying, and like I said, I'm a very open-minded person, and if I did have a child, I would want to do what I feel like is in their best, what's best for them. So yeah, I hear what you guys are saying, and I just wanted to have a conversation. So I appreciate your time.
No, and I appreciate that as well. Because as someone, right, I am a mother who has a child who's been on HRT for over a year. She's 15. She was born male, right? It does sound a little crazy, for lack of a better term, if you know nothing about this, right? If you don't have a child who's been suffering like this, because once you start getting the child the medical care, you'll see improvements in them. And if you don't see improvements in them, because you are required to continue to follow up with endocrinologists, the pediatrician, with your child has to have continued therapy. If you're not seeing improvements, if the therapist is not seeing improvements, then it is probably not the right treatment for them, or there could be something else going on. But this is a very well-monitored process. You don't just put a kid on hormones because you feel like it and then just leave them alone. Like they get monitored every 3 months with blood work and checking on their hormones. And then they have to go to weekly therapy. Like, this is not something that they're just put on and then ignored.
Okay. Well, yeah, I wasn't quite informed about that. I knew I seen some stories, of kids young as 13 kind of physically transitioning. So I wasn't, aware of what all exactly went into that. So I just always thought it was, hey, I want to be a boy, so that's how I feel, and that's kind of what the parents just agreed and went along with. So yeah, like I said, thank you for your information.
There's a lot more that goes into it than that. But awesome. Thank you for listening. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, that was a really good guest. Those are the types of conversations that I want to have. Because I think, and a lot of times people don't like it, right? They don't like it when we paint the picture of what a transgender child can actually go through.
Right.
They don't want to hear it, especially when we compare like the treatment to like ignoring a child's cancer treatment. They don't like the comparison because they feel like a child suffering from cancer is more extreme. They are different things. Recognize that. Very different things. But if a child needs medical care, it shouldn't matter what it is that they need it for. They should have access to it, and they should have support.
Right.
And the information is out there for parents to educate themselves and make informed decisions with their children. But a lot of times when parents force their kids to wait until the age of 18, it's because they're worried about their own personal reputation and not their child's mental health and well-being. And a lot of times they'll even get their kids to adulthood and then be absolutely fine with their kids cutting them off because, like, well, I got them to 18, my job is done.
Not their responsibility.
Exactly.
What would people think if my kid's trans? It's not about you. Not about you.
Exactly. And that's what it is. And it's hard, right? It is hard to tell family and friends that, hey, my kid is trans, right? This kid that you thought was this name and that they're actually not that. This is their identity. You're going to have people who will not accept that. But again, it's your child first. Your child's mental health and well-being should come first. Always. If you want to be a parent, you got to put your kids first. And if you're not going to love your kids unconditionally and do everything in your power you can to support them and not worry about your own reputation, then you shouldn't be a parent, period. I know people get mad at me about that too, but again, that's my opinion. I can't stop you from having kids, even if I say that. I can't. So.
All right. Someone literally called bully. Hey, I appreciate you're honest. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, really?
Oh God. So who do we have next coming up to join?
Let's see here. What time is it? 1:30.
3:24.
I can't believe you pulled me up. Good afternoon to everyone.
Lion by. Hello. How old are you?
I am 38 years old.
Cool. Go ahead.
Now, I don't want to be disrespectful at all to anybody's, to your chat. You know what I'm saying? But I just have to, it's one thing to understand that people have emotions and attractions towards the same sex. And it can start at is that a good word to say on here?
No, that's fine. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. To as early, as 5 or 6 years old. But it's another thing to equip our children with thinking that this is almost to me like an influencing thing here. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm gonna say, hold on one second there.
Okay.
There is no study that actually supports you can be influenced to be trans. Gender identity forms usually between the ages of 3 and 7 with all kids, whether you're trans or cis. It usually forms at that point. There's no study that says that you can be influenced to become trans. That's not something that really happens. So I don't understand that part of the conversation so far.
Right. That's
Okay. Well, let me go here because I can speak on this topic because I lived a lifestyle for several years, right? And at no point, now I do remember at points in my life where I felt like, maybe I should be a woman. I mean, as a young child, because I just felt like from what people were saying, as far as being in that lifestyle, that I felt in my mind that I was supposed to be.
It's not a lifestyle. Being trans is not a lifestyle.
Well, hey, I'm not disagreeing with your definition. This is mine. So I think if
Well,
it's
no,
mine,
that's
right.
It's totally not a lifestyle. It's
That's
who
not
you
a
are.
definition. We can have our own opinions. We can have our own facts. And factually, being transgender is not a lifestyle. That's not what it is.
I'm not saying that transgender. Hey, I wasn't speaking about transgender being a lifestyle. I'm talking about the lifestyle that I was living. If whatever lifestyle that I was living, it's my lifestyle.
Can you help me understand a little bit? Because I'm not sure. So, you some age you thought you identified. May I ask how you identify now? Because I have no idea. I want to be respectful of you. What pronouns?
Okay, so this is clearly what I'm saying. I'm saying that as a child should not be. I don't feel like a parent. Do you guys have any kids?
Yeah, you didn't just hear the conversation before you came in here?
No, because I came in late. I was just scrolling and
How
I
do
see
I pick
this.
everyone that just comes in? Like, that is just wild.
It's okay because I stopped by to see what you were talking about. So
No, it's not about you. We were laughing because the app. You would think Tox, we have a long queue. You would think that it would put them in order. It doesn't. It's random.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
that wasn't a slam on you at all. It's just weird.
Yeah, it was just like, I often do that with the people that are like, no, I just got here. I don't know how I managed to pick those people. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I got you.
No, you're saying about being a
And a
mom.
lot of people get angry because they probably think that we've been in the queue for a long time. No, I just got here and I picked to come on and talk.
Okay.
But pretty much, this is a disagreement
You started
to.
talking about your own anecdotal experience and then you pivoted off to something
I know.
else.
I did because I do remember what I was saying as far as my parenting was concerned. I remember I had loving parents, but they were there to instruct on the way that I should be living in their house. First of all, as a child, those type of thoughts shouldn't be in your mind, right? Like those type of thoughts but you're gonna have them. So for me to say,
that is incorrect to just think that children shouldn't be recognizing their own identity. They do. They do it on their own. No one has to teach them.
So a parent is there. A parent is going to be there to form their child in the way that they should go, to teach them in the way they should go.
No.
When they are 18 years old, if they choose to get a surgery or whatever goes in with that, or whatever goes in with
Exactly what I was talking about right before you requested. It's really wild.
Yeah, if we could try to kind of back up because we just had this conversation. So if we could help with that one, yeah, it's nothing like waiting till 18. First of all, a lot of kids don't get there. But one thing I want to say, first of all, I don't know your experience. I'm not going to invalidate your experience, Tom. I don't know what happened to you. I don't know what went down. But what I can say is you're in your 30s now, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, I'm 50. So, whenever what we're talking about now specifically is healthcare now for trans youth. I'm going to guess it's likely not the same model that existed whenever you were younger. Okay. What we're talking about now, what happens with gender affirming care for youth starts simply with a kid saying, I'm a boy, I'm a girl. And the parents saying, okay, what can we do? One of the first things that may happen is social transition, which would be potentially using a different name, different pronouns, a haircut, different clothing, no harm, okay? If there's insistence, consistency, and persistence, one thing that may happen would be then the next step going to counseling and therapy, okay? That's something that would be the next step along.
That I believe is needed, yes. Counseling and therapy sounds good.
Those are first steps. You don't move on, and that has to go on for how many years is that, Mel? Until the possibility, well, it depends on the age, because
It depends on the age of the child, exactly.
Right.
So what age are you guys saying that a child should be able to choose to be
Not choosing.
that?
That's the thing.
Well, I'm saying to choose to actually in their household, you have to choose. Your parents as authority figures in your life. You can't just block out all of that and say they can be 8 years old and say, "Oh, I want to be this."
Whether or not your parents support you doesn't make you not trans if you are.
To walk in it is what I'm saying. To actually live the lifestyle and walk in it. You can't do it if a parent is telling you no, right?
Well, if your parent is stopping you, okay, if you have a parent who does not love you unconditionally and support you in being who you are, that's problematic, right? And there's a problem. But if you there's no harm for a child at any age wearing different clothing, and if that's the case, wearing different clothing, maybe a different haircut. There's no harm.
Who's paying for those clothes? Who's paying for those?
Jesus Christ!
The parent that should be loving and supporting their child unconditionally is who's buying
At 8 years, okay. So if a child comes to you at 5 years old and says, "Mom, I want to kill somebody," or "Dad, I want to kill somebody,"
Come on, that obviously that's not okay.
Ty, we're gonna stop you right there. First of all, one, you can't say that word on the live. You can't say that. That'll get the live taken down. Number two, you do not ever try and compare someone's gender identity to unaliving someone. That's disgusting. And anything else like that, we're going to drop the conversation. I want to have an honest conversation, but that was a disgusting character you just did. That was absolutely disgusting. That was hateful. Please don't be that person.
And this is why, in the very beginning, I didn't want you to compare this to some kind of lifestyle or some kind of crazy choices. Children are not making choices to be trans. So again, whether or not your parents support you, that doesn't make you not trans. It can work the same way if you are gay, right? If you are a child who is gay and your parents don't support you, that doesn't make you not gay. You still are.
That was disgusting. I'm really disgust. I'm grossed out.
Really careful. Like your words better be very fucking careful.
I'm grossed out that you literally compared someone's identity to a child unaliving someone, and you said it confidently twice. That is just.
And obviously, you wouldn't fucking support that. That is wild.
The lack of compassion is just unreal.
Well, it's not compassion. It's reality, and nobody's gonna let their child sit there and choose what.
I'm sorry. Well, I thought you had something else to say, but
no,
I was good. I was so good. But what if I want to be abusive to my child? What if I want my child to suffer more? Wow. I'm sorry for whatever experience happened to you. I can't ever speak on your experience. I just think that was just. I would hope you can recognize how hateful it was to compare someone's identity to children unaliving someone. That is just ridiculous.
And the thing is that that's the whole problem with this, right? Like the whole well, who's buying the kids clothes, right? Like if you want to be in control of something, like control yourself. Like I don't know what to tell you, but your children are their own individual people with their own thoughts and feelings.
Mimi, you have enough followers to join. You've had a lot to say in the comments. You have enough followers to join. Get in here and talk.
Who?
Mimi. Yeah, Mimi's had a ton to say.
We're not in the request, so they just
Invite her. Let's have some fun. I'm being so nice today, but ooh, that one just was gross. That was gross.
It's so frustrating. And that's the idea, oh, this has to be the parents. They're putting it in that kids' heads. It's so fucking frustrating to be a mother with transgender children who didn't teach them shit about this. And I should have, but I didn't. And they still are who they are. Yeah. It's irrelevant whether you talk about it or not.
On my phone behind the screen, yes, Gage. We're all on our phones behind screens. You know how the internet works? Are you aware? I say that with my face here as well. My face in all the videos. Child, never mind. Well, sorry. Sorry, not with kids. I will love our child.
They're so fucking frustrating. I hate conversations like that.
I embraced already. Kelsey?
So
Kelsey was there for a while in the comments. But it's the same Kelsey I'm thinking of. Kelsey was like, "This is so sick," and going off. I'm like, "Oh, let's hang on again, 2 in a row."
Because they didn't connect.
How do we pronounce your name and what's your age, please?
40.
And how do I pronounce your name? What do I call you?
Ty.
Ty? I wasn't sure. Thank you, Ty. What's up?
Okay, so my question to you guys is simply this. Basically, I understand that you're saying it's not a mental, illness,
Right.
but how do you approach that when they're so young, as far as conversation with them?
Sure. Did you hear what was said earlier on the last one or no?
Just got on.
Okay, no problem. It's so weird. Is this the randomness of TikTok? We try and pull people up, and it goes.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. So Ty, Mel, you want to handle like what the conversation might look like? Kind of address that.
It's gonna depend on the child's age and like what they say. Like it can really vary.
And I don't mean to cut you off. The reason why I'm asking is because I have a 6-year-old who's talking that way, and we just don't know how to approach it. I mean, we don't.
They've been like pretty like consistent about it.
Not really.
So like, what types of things do they say?
He doesn't like boy clothes and things of that nature.
Okay. And how long have they been saying that? Has this child been saying that?
I'd say probably a month.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's not that long. So what you really could do at that point is like get them clothes that they like.
Yeah, but he wants girl clothes. I disagree, and my wife doesn't disagree, so we're having an issue with that.
Yeah, why not like just allow your child to express themselves however they want? Like why would you have an issue with a boy wearing?
To be honest with you, Mel, and I'm gonna be as real as I can and honest as I can. I can't picture getting my son girl dresses at 6 years old. I just can't imagine myself doing it.
Why not? He wants to, right?
Well, no, because I mean, whether he wants to or not, I'm telling you, I can't imagine myself doing it.
But can we?
Though it's your kid, right?
Let's dive into that a little, Ty. What is the feeling? What happens whenever you feel that way? What's the thought that's in your head when you picture your child wearing a dress?
He's my son, man. I mean, I just can't. I'm not gonna. I don't know, man. I just disagree with it.
So they're your child, right? You may actually be incorrect on their gender. You may not. They could absolutely still be a boy who just likes feminine things. So
right.
They could also be a boy that puts on the dress and goes, "Oh, nope."
It's you that has the block right now, not your kid. Like your kid knows what they want to wear. So just allow him to wear what he wants and try to figure out why it's bothering you.
Yeah,
why would your child be?
I just disagree with it. I mean, my wife's thinking about it, but I'm not. I mean, it's gonna. You guys are gonna go ape shit about it and say that something's wrong with me, the dad. But I'm being honest. I just can't picture myself doing it.
Right, and
it's you, right? Like if you can't picture yourself wearing a dress, that's totally fine because you don't want to express yourself that way. But your child does, right?
Ty,
Right.
can I?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I give you something to think about? Because it sounds like you really love your kid, right?
Definitely.
Okay. Now, first of all, wearing the dress does not mean, as we said, does not mean your kid's trans. It doesn't mean your kid's gay. It doesn't mean your kid even likes dresses. We don't know. You know what I mean? We have no idea.
Right.
But what could potentially happen, okay, if it goes on, is something that's consistent, insistent, and persistent, and the kid hears you as the father saying no to everything, it can end up hurting the kid, okay? It can end up hurting them. And I'm not saying it's jumping this level, but I'm saying for kids who actually are LGBTQ, and they don't have support from their parents, many times they unalive. They leave home. Many times they're kicked out. If your child told you they were trans or they were gay, would you love them and support them?
I'm gonna love them no matter what, but doesn't mean I gotta go to the mall and buy him a dress, right?
You don't have to go. You have to let your wife go. You don't have to do that. But the most important thing is just showing that you genuinely care, and it might be uncomfortable for you because it feels strange for you, but it's not about you because you want to have your kid alive, right?
Well, here's my question to you guys, and this is
Hold on really quick. What Bish is saying to you is unfortunately a very high reality for children who don't get supported.
Right, understandable.
40%
People
of
just brush that off oh well, my kid might do that.
47% of LGBTQ youth. I'm sorry, of the amount of unhoused youth, 47% of them are LGBTQ, and this stat is 1.8 million LGBTQ youth considered unaliving themselves in the past year alone. And there could be a situation. Again, we don't know if your kid's in that group. We don't know. But
I get it. But my question is, I noticed, and I'm assuming, most of the community, when people disagree with the way you guys see things, we're automatically judged because I won't go get the dress. Am I right or wrong?
I'm not judging you.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, hold on, Bish, because I'm getting super emotional here. It's not about judging you. It's about caring about your child, right? Your child's mental health and well-being should be above your own personal feelings. And in this book, this child is trans. And again, your child may not be, but this child in the beginning of this book is very sad, right? Not being able to express themselves the way that they feel. But when they put on a dress, good thing, they are much more happy. And it is literally just that. A child that's upset to a child who's not. And you're stuck on it because of your own feelings and not your kid. My daughter is trans. Okay, she was assigned male at birth. My husband and I assumed that she was our son. We were wrong. She's not our son. She's our daughter. It takes an adjustment period, but she's still the same kid. And I love that kid. Her identity is irrelevant. It's about supporting your kid.
I don't know, man. I mean, people can come on here and BS all day, but I've been open and honest and saying that I just don't, for whatever reason, if it's my feelings or whatever the case, I'm still the dad, and I'm not gonna agree with everything my kids do in life. I don't think no one does.
Do you want to lose your kid though? It's literally that serious. And all you're talking about is a child who wants to wear something that is not societally known for boys to wear.
Well, I mean, I just don't think at 6 he's thinking about suicide.
Really?
Okay, again, the Trevor Project, right? They get calls for children as young as 7.
Yeah.
For you to just deny this just based on your own feelings, you can absolutely get yourself therapy. You can talk to people about this. You can talk to a pediatrician about your child. This is very important to not shut them down. People get divorces often over this. Parents will split up because one child
that's kind of where I'm heading, I think, with my wife, because if she does something against what I believe, I'm gonna leave her ass in the dust.
Okay, fuck off.
Right.
Absolutely fucking not. I hope that your wife leaves you and takes you for
Right. I don't care,
That is disgusting. Absolutely fucking not. Oh my God. I hope that was made up. I hope that was a fucking made up story.
You would.
I don't think it was.
No, it was not made up. You would leave your child and your wife because of your fragility about the kid wearing fabric. That is ridiculous. Yes, we choose the bear. That's correct. Holy shit.
And that right there was an example of a parent worried about their own personal reputation and not their child's mental health and well-being. And I hope his wife decides quickly to support their kid and get the fuck out of there, because that was gross. If I ever heard my husband say shit like that, absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not.
Just, oh my God. I don't know what to say with that. That was just unreal.
Hey, boom.
Hey guys. You know what the buffalo said to his kids before they went to college?
What? What?
Bye, son.
Mel, I apologize. Come back up. Get back up here. I had to. Oh my God, I love you, you bitch. Get in here. Where's he at? I gotta invite him.
No, seriously, thank you for that. I appreciate
We needed that. We needed that so much. Oh my God. You were still laughing that whole damn time. You didn't stop.
Figured I'd lighten up the mood a little bit.
Thank you.
It helped. Definitely helped. Appreciate that.
Well, you're not a dad. You can't make dad jokes. Oh my God.
You know, it's been a while since I've had a conversation like that. They happen every now and then.
Oh.
Just fucking conversations are rough.
That's got to be a gut punch, honestly. I can't imagine it. As a parent hearing that, I can't imagine it. I felt sick. I felt like I was going to puke. I'm like,
And knowing what my kid has gone through, even having support and continues to go through,
you would think when we actually said about, hey, kids unaliving themselves, you would think that he'd be like, oh my God, wait, let me stop and think for a second. There wasn't even a pause. Like you pointed out, he's brushed it all off and kept, yeah, but what about me? I don't like the dress. Oh my, and also,
you can't picture that. Well, no one's asking you to wear a fucking dress.
And the thing is, if that kid is able to hear the father having conversations, which I'm gonna guess he probably does. Well, I'm gonna guess she probably does, because I'm gonna say, you know, the gender here. I'm going to say that congratulations, you became your child's first bully.
I am glad that that child does have a parent that supports, though, or is at least trying to figure it out. Because at least one parent, one supportive parent, can make a huge difference. So, W mom.
Marina, I'm sorry, Marina, you're not wrong. Support at home doesn't mean they won't be tormented by peers. What then? That you support your child, make sure they're getting support. We also encourage education, because education does mitigate bullying. It doesn't get rid of it, but it does help make things better. We all need to use our voices to make things better for the entire world.
Absolutely.
That's very Miss America of me, I know.
You can't prevent your kids from being trans. So either, like, you can't protect them from bullies. Like, you can't protect them by hiding them from bullies, is what I wanted to say. You need to stand up with them, tell them that you've got them, and do everything you can to fight for them.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks in the reality that we live in, that, you know, no matter how much we try to put the word out and try to help people, like, the best thing that we can do is harm reduction. This person doesn't know they're alive, I guess.
Ben?
Hello. Yep.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was Bish fucking with me or it's a guess. Ben?
Yes.
Okay. Can you go somewhere like quieter? You have a lot of background noise.
Do I? Okay, I'm sorry.
Hard to hear you.
I got my speaker on. It's probably why. So,
can you?
Hopefully it didn't help.
Pop that off for a second.
All right. How old are you?
Me, I am 60.
Okay, cool. What's up?
I'm old man. Yeah. So, hey, what do you guys know about the brain and the human condition?
What's your specific question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know what you know about the brain and human condition. Why people become what they become.
Well, it depends on what you're talking about, but when we're talking about gender identity, your brain...
And that, yeah.
Yeah, your gender identity develops in the brain as a child.
You what?
Your gender identity develops in the hypothalamus as a child.
Okay. Why, so let me ask you this. The brain, if the brain is constantly pressured to be something, it will start to shape into whatever it's
That's not
focused
true.
on.
No.
Pretty much. So
No.
Okay, well, we're gonna have some fun with this one, Ben. Can we have a citation for that, please? I'm gonna need a citation that supports that
Yeah,
claim.
that's a wild claim. Where did you get that from?
Well, it's anytime. Anytime you watch a TV or something, you end up mimicking what you
Yep.
see on TV.
That's
If
not
you
a
go
sword.
around friends, your brain starts to shape into
That's not gender
into what
identity.
into what it is.
Are you in a
If,
car
if
now?
you're,
Are you in a car? Are you driving?
oh yeah, I'm getting into the car right now.
Well, if you're going to start driving, we're going to need to drop you.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I have never been so glad that someone was gonna drive.
Your brain shapes into that? Like, what?
Yeah. All right then. I mean, okay.
My brain's
Anyway.
a parallelogram.
Yeah, so if I like, I don't know. I don't have a good example. Skeleton. Well, that's not a good example at all. If I like Halloween, does my brain like shape into like black cats and
A pumpkin.
pumpkins?
Actually, I heard that's true.
Yeah. Hey, I saw a video about it.
Oh, of course.
It must be true.
It's on TikTok.
Mhm.
Obviously.
It's always the TikTok videos. Hello?
Hey,
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 22.
All right.
I was wondering. I don't really know how to put this. Why do you think kids should be able to change their entire identity? Something that could like potentially ruin the rest of their life instead of just waiting for them to be an appropriate age to decide to do that to their bodies, because that isn't
Okay, that's just a common misconception, right? Children are not making a decision to change their entire identity. They are literally telling you who they are, like, which is different than like we as
when
parents.
I was a kid, I thought that I was a boy.
Hold on.
But I am
We as
so glad because
we as
I gotta
parents,
ask you, hold on.
right, in society, assume our children's gender based on their sex, and sometimes we are wrong. And only the child themselves knows their true identity. So when they express that to you, you should listen to them. And if they're making any type of changes that helps affirm their identity, it's not them changing genders. They're just affirming who they
like
are.
I said, when I was a child, I was pretty sure I was a boy. And if anybody would have let me feed into that delusion, I would probably not.
I'm not. I'm just not.
I personally am shocked that it's always someone with a God in their bio, right?
You know, like honestly, at this point, like I'm really starting to like question why so many people think that they have any sort of right or anything like that to be able to say, I thought I was trans once. Like, you don't know what it's like to be trans, so stop.
Mm-hmm.
I know. If somebody let me feed into that delusion. Like, do you know how often we hear that? If someone would have interfered, I would be a boy and I would be angry. Like, that's not how it works.
But meanwhile,
You flip that shit, right? Flip it around. What you're trying to do is tell the child you're doing the opposite to them. You're making them the identity that they are telling you that they are not. That's you doing that. Forcing them to go through a puberty that doesn't align with their identity. You're doing that. We're just listening to the kid.
How dare you?
You know, Boom, if somebody would have let you paint your nails when you were a kid, you would be a girl now.
I know. I do it now, and I'm surprised that I'm not a girl somehow.
Well, right?
Maybe.
Hi, how old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
21.
Are you driving?
Yeah, I'm driving. When I was a kid,
Okay, bye.
You're driving me crazy.
How is it safe to be like, let me request and then like mute and unmute myself and shit while I'm driving? Like, that is wild. I listen to lives when I drive, but I don't interact with it.
Right. You would think that would be the smart thing to do.
Come back when you're not not driving. Why are you re-requesting?
Silly goose.
If you happen to have pulled over, you can write in the chat that you pulled over.
Hello.
Hi, how old are you?
19.
All right, what year were you born?
2004.
All right, go ahead.
Why do people think that making kids think they're okay to be trans?
Do you know what being trans is?
Yeah, being another sex.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay, then tell me what trans art is. I definitely want to know this.
Great! Being transgender just means that your gender identity naturally develops incongruent from your sex, so you can be male and a girl, or female and a boy, or anything in between or outside of that.
That's what transgender is.
Yeah?
It's not what you just
Being
said.
another sex. So
That's
you
incorrect.
become a male, then a female.
No, not what happens.
Oh, you're stupid.
Wow.
I think it's funny that you got the definition completely wrong, and then we heard it and said it wrong again, and then you're calling other
No,
people stupid.
I think
You know-
I
you know
got
what I
it
mean?
right.
All right, then prove it. If you're right, then prove it.
Yes, what is it? And condition. Say what being transgender is, and if you're wrong, you get dropped. So this is
Okay,
easy.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm sure you don't.
Awesome. You know what? I think I dislike more than a 19-year-old. It's a smug 19-year-old.
Woo! It's changing into a different sex. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Like, what? No, it's not.
Big old riding lawnmower out there, outside.
Mm-hmm. We didn't get you banned, Studley. You did it yourself, lamb chop.
Lamb chop. Womp womp. Oh.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm over 30.
You're not too bad.
A lot of noise. Are you driving right now?
No, I'm in my rooftop. There's a road at the.
Staticky sound.
Yes. Do you have headphones on or your speaker on? It's very loud and heavy. A lot of noise.
Yeah, I got my headphones on. Huh.
What's this?
All right, try it again.
Hello.
Was better?
I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you still have the weird static sound. If you want to say something and mute yourself, we can try to have a conversation, like when you're not speaking, but...
Let me drop and come back.
Okay. We can hear you better. Go ahead. I don't think that's going to fix it, but...
It might be the being on the rooftop with a lot of noise outside.
I'm going to want some ice cream.
You know what? I'm having a craving now, so I'm gonna have a 50-calorie one because, yeah.
Look at this bitch.
Oh, people in the comments are gonna love that.
Is this better?
It still sounds staticky. I mean, we can hear you fine now, but there's a lot of...
Background noise. Yeah, sorry about that. Are you guys from the UK?
Nope.
No. So in the UK, they recently introduced a thing called MAP. I don't know if you heard of it. MAP, and it stands for Minor Attracted Person.
Yeah, they're good. Yes. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we have those here. We call them what they are, pedophiles.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Also Republicans. I mean...
Hello?
Hello, how old are you?
I'm 22.
What year were you born?
2002, April.
Cool.
Okay, so why would we let children be trans? Why would we let children who have basically their minds, their thoughts, their ideas are constantly changing. Why should we let them change their gender?
Okay,
I mean, that's crazy to me. That
Okay,
you,
that's not what being trans is. When you are trans, you're not changing genders.
I meant to mute myself. Sorry.
You're expressing. A child will typically express one way or another. Either they directly say it, or they express it that they are actually not the gender that people are telling them that they are. Yeah.
exactly, but why? But why would you let children be able to, like, why can't you just wait till they're the right age?
What's the
Or they
right?
can decide for themselves.
What age is that?
I think 18.
Why?
When you're an adult.
What happens when you're 18?
Or
You-
21. Or 21.
Why?
When your brain develops fully.
When does
So that you
when,
can
hold on.
understand.
That's
User,
not when your
when does-
brain fully develops.
When does gender identity form in the brain? What age?
Doesn't matter when it forms in the brain.
You,
When
it's
you're 21.
It's literally
yeah.
your argument.
When
Literally
you're
your argument.
21. No, my argument is
Nope.
that when you're
Nope.
21,
Hold
your
on.
brain.
I'm sorry. I didn't ask you to repeat some bullshit. I asked you, when does gender identity form in the brain? Your argument was, wait till the brain develops. When does gender identity develop in the brain? Answer the question very directly without the drama.
What drama? I don't.
Answer the question. When does
I
gender
don't
identity
know.
form in the
I don't
brain?
know. When does it develop?
Between the ages of 3 and 7.
3. Okay. Wait. Do you guys think it's okay for a 3 to 7-year-old if they feel like they? Oh my God, they feel like a
Stop
woman or a
Can
man.
you stop the dramatics of this, please? We're having an actual conversation. Don't raise the voice and get all crazy about it.
I'm not. My voice is not raised. That's for sure.
This isn't just like wild shit that we came up with out of nowhere. Like, it's literally reality.
I understand that, but how are you gonna let a child make such a big decision?
What's the big decision?
Because gender
What is-
identity is developing in their brains, all
What is that?
children's brains.
What is that picture supposed to be?
This is Gender Identity Development in Children. It's written by the American Academy of Pediatrics. It's on their website.
Let's
Healthy-
start here.
It
Let's
talks about how gender
No,
identity
let's
develops in the brain.
let's start here. What does transition look like in a 7-year-old to you? Hello.
User, you're muted again. The reason why you keep getting muted is because you just keep like asking questions.
Okay, wait. So my brother, for example, he's 4. Okay, and he constantly says he's a girl.
Answer
I
the question,
obviously
please.
tell him,
Answer the
"Oh,
question,
no,
please.
you're not."
Can you answer the question and engage in the conversation? It's getting old.
What's getting old?
Answer the question Boom asked you.
You're not engaging.
Wait, but you guys, whenever you don't like when someone says something,
Oh my
That's a lot.
God! I
Okay.
asked you a question and you're not answering it. It's not that I don't like that someone's bringing up a point that I disagree with. It's nothing like that. I asked you a question and you're bringing up something completely irrelevant.
But you're not engaging in the conversation.
okay, what's the question?
Thank you. What does transition in a 7-year-old look like to you?
To me, I mean, it's when they're switching genders.
How do they do that?
Well, they go from a man to a woman. I'm guessing either pills, some hormone pills.
With 7-year-old?
I don't know.
In a 7-year-old? So you have no idea what it looks like.
No.
So why do you
yeah,
have to
they get hormone pills. They get hormone pills
Yeah,
or
they do.
blockers.
At
Puberty
seven?
blockers.
Wait.
Something like that.
You think a 7-year-old can get hormones?
I don't know. That's
So then why?
something in America that's
All right.
like crazy to me. I don't know what's.
All right,
I don't know
so-
how you do it.
You're very
Okay.
upset about something you don't even have an understanding of.
Right. Like this is
I'm
the
upset.
issue.
You guys are forcing things onto kids, and
No, we're not.
User, listen. You have. I'm gonna be so real with you. You have been rage baited so hard by, I don't know, media, the Fox News, like talking heads, TikTok. I don't know what it is that got you like this, but you are so wrong about this. 7-year-olds are not getting hormones, nor can they. So that's your idea of what transition looks like in a minor is completely bafflingly wrong, and that's what you're upset about. You're upset about something that doesn't exist.
Okay, so how is it done? I would like to know.
I wish we would start there. Great.
A 7-year-old would just be related to their gender expression. But they may want to wear different clothing.
So they would just wear different clothes and that type of stuff.
They may want to change their pronouns.
Okay, and at what age do they actually start the fully transitioning process?
Fully transitioning.
Okay. When you change genders, when you get puberty blockers.
If you're going to ask a question, can you let it be answered, please? It's exhausting.
It's individualized care. Not all transgender people go on hormones or get any types of surgeries. It varies. But if a child is recommended to go on puberty blockers because they have a gender dysphoria diagnosis, they're having a difficulty functioning, that is Tanner stage 2 of puberty. And again, that varies depending on the child. It depends on when they go through puberty.
Okay, so you're telling me if my brother says that he's a girl at 4 years old, which he's doing, obviously I tell him you're not, what the hell? You're telling me I should dress him in dresses and let him go to school with painted nails and dresses. That's crazy.
Is that going to put a smile on his face?
No, because he doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's...
I have painted nails and long hair, and I have a smile on my face, and I'm still a guy.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm 26.
Exactly, you can choose that for yourself.
It's not a choice. User, it's not a choice. At what age did you recognize that you're saying that you're a girl? At what age did you recognize that you're a girl? How old were you?
When I was born, like that's just.
Do you remember?
I'm a female. I
remember your birth. You remember your birth?
Yeah, I do actually. I remember my birth.
You remember the light?
Yep,
it burns.
Mel, how do I feel about disingenuous conversations? No, sorry. For God's sakes.
However, if she really has a brother that is saying that they're consistently saying that they're a girl at 4, you might want to start listening to that kid.
Yeah.
It's not about you. It's really not.
Exactly. Why can't people get that through their heads?
It's not your life. I don't know why everyone has to take it upon themselves to be some kind of martyr to like take themselves like put themselves in the line of fire in front of their friends and family. Like it's not your life.
Literally, if the child wants to paint their nails, why not let them? We're not going to force a kid who doesn't want to paint their nails to paint their nails. We're not saying to force a kid who doesn't want to wear a dress to wear a dress. We're saying listen to the fucking kid.
Oh, that's too hard, Mel.
Oh God. And exactly, like it's as simple as what you were saying, Boom, though. Like it has to do with making a child happy. If that's gonna put a smile on their face, why not? Because you want to be in control?
Hey,
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, cool.
So, I'm gonna share like a little bit about me and like my story, if that's okay. Is it okay with you guys?
Does it have to do with trans kids?
Yeah. So, but it's not gonna seem like it at first, but it is. So basically, I've struggled with really, really chronic and serious ED since I was 10 years old. And I don't know, I've almost had to have a permanent tube placed in my stomach. But basically where I'm going with this is I almost lost my fertility for years. And during that time when I was an adolescent and I had like lost my fertility, I really, really could not give less of a crap about having children and having kids. And I'm very blessed that now, you know, I'm able to have it back. But I currently fight this every single day for the reason of fertility. And where I'm going with this is when you give, you know, these children or these young adults all these hormones and all of that, and it affects their fertility just because they say, I'm okay with not, being able to carry a child or, reproduce or have that.
Okay, what is more important, keeping the child alive or worrying about their fertility?
More
Child
so
happy
about
and
like
healthy?
it's more so about like during the transition and during all of that going on, sort of not having the priorities and the goals you would have at an older age.
Can you answer that
So-
question, please? Can you please answer the direct question that was asked?
Yeah.
Great. So, what is, because we treat children with their medical care at the time.
Yeah,
Right,
but like it could cause permanent fertility, and I know, like, say at 14.
Can you answer the
like-
direct question you were asked before going off again, please?
I don't even know what my direct question was now.
You asked what's more important,
Oh yeah.
the fertility issue or keeping the kids alive? Which one is it?
I mean, honestly, if I wasn't able to,
If
be
you
able
fucking
to
pick
carry,
fertility
I
over
wouldn't
life.
want to. I wouldn't want to be alive because that's my main goal.
Okay, well, if
of
you-
my
That
life.
is a huge problematic thing in society, that if we cannot have children, that it's so detrimental that we don't want to be alive. Like that, you need some like that is a whole other thing. That again, that is a very personal issue to you. And maybe if you had some issues with fertility, that you should get like some mental health care.
No, for sure. And I've had that care. I've also been in units. And one of the things I found interesting was everyone, on this unit was struggling with some sort of body dysmorphia. And I noticed as an adolescent.
Body dysmorphia. Okay, again, when children get medical
I'm going somewhere with this, Mel. Mel, I'm going somewhere with
when
this.
anyone gets medical care, you're treating their symptoms at the
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Right? We know that there can be benefits and risks to treatment plans.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Children are well aware that their fertility, and parents especially, know that it may be an issue. It's a possibility to lose fertility during the process.
Yeah, but also where I was going with that.
Trying to keep the child as happy and healthy and less traumatic and alive.
Yeah.
There's reasons why you're intervening while they are young.
Yes, of course. But where I was going with that statement is when I was with all these adolescents, I would say about half of them went out of the, unit into the room.
You cut out. And I feel like you're just not listening, right? Because we are very well aware that loss of fertility could be a side effect of HRT.
Yeah, no, but where I'm going with that is not the fertility issue, but more so of like, these children were going through a lot, having, an identity crisis, not being happy with themselves. And a good amount of them after treatment began to transition. And within a year, all of them had deleted the pictures and
What
went
are you
back.
talking about? I don't even know what you're going on about right now.
So basically what I'm saying is like, since these adolescents were struggling so hard with themselves, a lot of them went and tried to transition.
Hold on, you need to be more specific. I don't know what you're talking about. What adolescents?
So the adolescents I was in treatment with during
You
that
have to
time.
stop comparing what you were going through.
No, I'm talking about their struggles, because all of a sudden they were changing their names. They were actually, I know a few people.
What does that have to?
Can you please not speak on someone else's struggles? We're talking about when we're talking things here. We're not speaking anecdotal evidence. I'm not going to discount anything that happened with you or anyone that you personally know. But I don't think that those are your stories to share. But we are talking about statistical studies and with the health care that trans youth need, and what is recommended by the American Medical Association, American Psychiatric Association, American Pediatric Association, and 30 other organizations. So I mean, that's not what it is. It is this whole thing of saying about someone else's experience. You're sharing someone else's experience that I don't know if we're getting in the full details, and also that's not yours to share.
Right, and it's very frustrating because, again, it's not like children are not informed. It's not like the parents are not informed, again, on the benefits and the risks. But you're treating the child where they are at. If they're having an inability to function in daily life, if they can't get out of bed, they don't want to be living, they don't have friendships. They can't focus in school. We can't be worrying about maybe a possibility of affecting their future fertility, but they might not even be able to have kids in the first place. You're trying to give the child a less traumatic and a happier and healthier life, give them a chance. So to deny them that just based on that one thing is silly. Now, if for some reason the medical professionals at this point were like, hey, the benefits, like the child gets their hormones tested or something, they're like, hey, the benefits of HRT for this child will not outweigh the risks because they have this type of endocrine disorder or whatever it is, then you don't go through with the treatment. I don't even know where you're just going on about your own experience and like some other people that you're in treatment with that has nothing to do with this topic. No, you can unmute and if you're willing to engage, then we can continue the conversation.
So, I mean, I guess, so I was really close with some of these women and they went on to do this therapy and a lot of them actually went on to get the mastectomy.
What did we just say? What I'm
saying is these women were going through mental health crises, didn't
What
know
did
who
we
they were.
just say about
went and got
Uncle Story?
surgeries. Let me talk.
No. We're not
They
letting
went
you
and got,
talk.
they went and got double mastectomies and half of them went to.
Oh my
Okay, yeah, boundaries been set, boundaries been crossed multiple times.
What is with
Just making up stuff. Like it's not half the people. It's not that many. Like there are statistics, right? So if you happen to be in a situation where there was a couple people that, and I don't even know what having eating disorders has to do with like being trans and like getting mastectomies. I'm so fucking lost. And then she gets dropped by you guys. Like, what does that mean? I don't want to engage in that conversation anymore because she is not listening. Damn, all right, I have like a couple minutes. I can pick one more here. There's a lot of requests still. Boom, are you at the ocean?
Adolf Hitler is my nigga. What's the barrel?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
All right then.
That ice cream was really good, by the way. And they cared.
Nice. Why do I sound like I'm at the ocean or something?
I thought we were in a shell with you.
It sounds like waves. It sounds like what? What'd you say, Bish?
Like inside the shell.
It does!
Oh, it might be my air conditioner.
One thing I want to know is why are you guys being so rude?
How old are you?
Taylor?
Oh my god, we talked to you yesterday. We talked to you yesterday.
I don't even remember.
Yesterday or today. It's already happened.
No, I.
You want to have a conversation? Go to tone, please.
Oh, because you're
conversation.
You
or tone,
think you
please?
know everything?
Okay, cool.
Figure out like why we're upset in these conversations. Go away. Like seriously. Why don't you want to engage in a conversation that the person's extremely disingenuous? Why don't you want to do that? Don't you want to hear them out?
Duh.
You're paid? Not really.
Yes, I made 27.2 cents to the bank. Ooh, Echo. Redongus.
What's up?
You have a bag Echo? Can you do a favor? Hold on. Oh, Shiza. Yeah, you had a horrible Echo, my person. I don't know. I almost said my guy, but I don't know.
My person.
My person. I'm gonna make that a thing. It's gonna happen now. Watch it.
Either way, I only have time for one more conversation, and if it's the echo glitch, you need to actually like restart it. Damn, hello?
Holy.
Hello?
Are we inside your pocket?
Hello.
God. Why can't we get like one final guest here?
That was like ASMR attack.
POV ASMR being thrown down the stairs.
Right? Oh my god, I feel like it was.
Have you seen those videos? They're so funny.
Adonis, you had a really bad echo, a horrible echo. We couldn't really hear anything.
No, it'll be like POV ASMR. Your girlfriend beats you over the head with a frying pan or something like that.
Is it Molly?
Hey,
Hello.
honey. Hello?
Hi, I'm on my girlfriend's phone.
What?
I'm on my girlfriend's phone.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 23.
All right, what's up?
So I just want to ask, any of you actually trans?
No one is trans currently, no.
So what do you think gives you the ability to speak on kids having the decision to be trans if you aren't trans yourself?
Do pediatricians have to have children to treat children?
No, but they go and get an education.
Yeah, great. Do science, history teachers, do they have to actually experience history to speak on it?
No, but they get an
Great,
education.
so as long as you have the education and you know what the fuck you're talking about, you should be able
There's
to
no
speak.
need to be rude.
So what do I call you?
You don't need to be rude.
What do
You
I
don't need to swear at me.
What do I call you? What's your name?
Ben.
Ben. So Ben, are you trans?
No.
Okay, according to your logic, you can't have this conversation. Then Cole, next person. I mean, it's your logic. That's yours, right? That wasn't mine. I think it's stupid, but hey, who do we have that wants to have an actual conversation? We have one real conversation, please. Adonis, let's hope the echo's not there.
Okay, your echo is gone. All right.
All right. Y'all can hear me?
Oh, how old are you? Sorry.
I'm 21.
All right, go ahead.
All right. I just question when I seen it, like, look, why let kids, like, why can't we just let kids do what they want to do? Like, why does hold on, why does like sexuality and all the stuff that we talk about, why does that have to be implemented in kids?
So that is a kid thing. Kids can recognize their gender identity. They do it very young. Children can recognize who they're attracted to. These aren't just adult things.
They think they know who they're attracted to. Just like how some women growing up like to play football, just because they like to play football.
Okay, Adonis, I'm gonna ask you, please. Can we have a conversation that's not disingenuous? Can we please? Because is football a gender identity?
Can I finish the point?
Can you answer me? My patience for disingenuous conversations is gone. So can we please have a serious conversation? This
is a serious conversation. If you let me finish the point, I was going to bring it right back.
Is playing football a gender identity?
It's not.
Okay, next.
So we are talking about gender identity, and you also brought up like sexuality, and you're like, kids can't know. Like I knew when I was 5 that I thought boys were cute, in a way that a 5-year-old can tell. Right? That stayed consistently. I have been straight since I was recognized that I was 5. At 5. I mean, I recognized it at 5.
Confirmed.
At 4, you weren't straight?
Huh? I didn't know I was straight because I was 4. As a 4-year-old, I did not recognize that I liked boys.
What's the difference? It's 1 year. What's the difference?
What? Why is that the point? You're saying that this is not something that children can understand, and I'm saying yes, it is.
Okay, well, I should say, just because you can understand it doesn't mean the majority. Nothing is 100% correct, but I'm speaking on
that's
the
true.
majority.
That's very true. But we do know by studies that children can have an understanding of who they're attracted to and of their gender identity.
Children can understand who they think they're attracted to. Just like you could have people think that
Why
they're...
I say that? Yeah. In your brain, you would have a thought telling you who you're attracted to. Yes, sure.
Adonis, how old were you when you had your first crush?
I was kindergarten? I don't remember the age, but it was kindergarten.
That's far too young. You should wait till you're 18, right? Guess the way that sounds.
Like the point we're making is that like everybody has an issue with kids and their gender identity or their sexuality if it's not cisgender and heterosexual at any age.
Period.
Why is it any different?
Look, when I was going to school, I wasn't really worried.
It's not about you, dude. I don't care about your anecdotal experience.
Okay, then why are you giving yours?
I did give mine because I felt like
No, host,
I didn't give mine.
I wasn't talking about you, host.
great,
I didn't give any anecdotal experience.
right? But again, gender identity develops in the brain as a child. That is a fact.
Just because it develops doesn't mean it's fully developed.
Okay.
What?
Like
because
Boom
it's cooked all the way
said-
doesn't mean it's cooked.
Wild. Like Boom just brought up to you, right? People typically don't validate kids unless they are cisgender or straight. So if a child is assigned male at birth and they're 6 years old and they say they're a boy, do you believe that kid?
Repeat the question one more time.
A child who is assigned male at birth
Okay.
tells you at 6 years old that they are a boy. Do you believe them?
I could believe him.
Yeah. Yeah, so why do you think that child is an okay age to understand that they're a boy?
What do you mean? Why do I think it's documented, right? And
Documented? No, it's not.
you just said they were born male, so it's documented on the birth certificate.
So here's the thing. You can be male and be a girl. That's what being trans is. You can be female and be a boy.
No, you can being trans. You're not 100% of the gender identity that you're pursuing.
What?
What?
No, look. Okay,
I'm genuinely confused. You're just saying things, but I'm not getting it.
Listen, just because a trans person is, we can say a trans woman, right?
Okay.
Just because it's a trans woman, it's not 100% a woman.
Yes, she is.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is. She's not a cis woman, right? She's not a woman who was assigned female at birth, but she's still a woman. Just the same percentage of woman as I am as a cis woman. Trans women are not claiming to be cis women. They're not claiming to be assigned female at birth.
But it's still being a trans woman, being a trans man. You're not like you have the word in front. So how could you be 100% of something if you have a word to identify what you are in front?
Okay,
of you?
Adonis, are you a straight
Yes, sir.
man?
Correct.
You're a straight man, so you're not 100% straight then, right? That's your logic.
No, that's not my logic.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're not 100%. Not 100%.
Wait.
Oh,
Adonis,
sorry.
Adonis, you know what's funny? Is that by your logic, if you have an adjective in front of your gender identity, you're not 100% that thing. Did you know that you're a cis man?
I'm not a cis man.
You are.
I'm heterosexual. No, this whole
That's not what that means.
No,
That's
I'm
not
not
what it means.
cis.
That's
Don't
not what-
address me as cis.
That's
I'm
not what it means. Okay,
My God, someone who's going to be angry about something that they don't even know what it is. I'm
No,
shocked.
I'm not angry. I just don't. I wouldn't want y'all to call me cis.
You're offended.
Is that a problem?
Why? What does cisgender even mean?
Obviously, it's something heterosexual, but I don't want to be addressed.
No.
I don't.
Adonis,
Okay, if
It's obvious? I didn't know it was that obvious.
Adonis, let me
the
help you
host,
out.
the host,
Adonis,
listen,
let me help
listen,
you out.
The host said she was straight, and she said she was cis, and I'm
That's-
using my context clues, which means it has to be something
Well, let me help
heterosexual. If she's straight and she's calling herself cis,
Well, we can
yeah.
play Blue's Clues. I can help you out. Okay, so I'm gonna work with you on this. Were you assigned male at birth?
correct,
Great. And are you a man?
correct,
So would you say that the sex that you were assigned at birth and your gender identity as a man are in alignment? Yes.
correct.
That's the definition of cisgender. So you are cisgender. It has nothing to do with who you like, because guess what? I was also assigned male at birth, and I also am a man, but I'm super gay, and you are not. So being cisgender has nothing to do with who we like. So you and I are both cis.
No, I'm not cis. No,
You just
No,
acknowledge that you
I-
are.
like,
If you're not cis and you're trans, and I can grab you.
How do you say it like
don't-
that?
I don't want to be addressed as cis.
It's not about being addressed as cis. It's literally just something that describes you. It's telling us that you are male and a man.
How does it describe?
Telling us that you are both male and a man.
Okay, so the same way that trans identifies someone who is not assigned the same gender or sex, whatever you want to look at it, that they were at birth, it's the same logic for cis.
Okay, well, how come, right? Every time the cis word gets brought up, it's with the people of the community or advocating for the community.
We can answer that for you gladly. Yes,
All right.
because you come into LGBTQ spaces for these conversations, and when you're in these spaces, we sometimes talk about the differences and the similarities and the stories that apply to trans and cis people. Because trans and cis people have some things in common and have some differences, but it's how we differentiate the two in the purposes of the conversations in LGBTQ spaces where you come into. That's why it happens.
Okay, Bish,
Like
you
saying,
said
why are
you
you
were,
talking about being gay when I'm talking about being straight? Like, because we're talking about sexuality. So in this context, we're talking about trans people and cis people, and they're opposites of each other.
Would you like an example of how that can happen?
I really don't want an example. I don't want to.
So you don't want a conversation?
Like, I want to bring the conversation back to let kids be trans.
I'm gonna be late to pick up my kid. So,
Why would I want? Let's say I have a kid, son or daughter. Host, you were 5. Okay, we can say 5. They're 5 years old. Why would I want them worried about that? Like,
It's not about what you want, right? Because that's just how it is. If your kid is recognizing that there's an incongruence, if they're recognizing that they may be trans, it's not about what you want. That's the reality for that kid. So either you support the kid or you're a dick.
so not okay. So, all right,
Like if you had a son who was 5 years old and came home from school one day and said, "Dad, I have a crush on this girl in my class," what would you say?
I wouldn't want him to be focused on girls in
Why
school.
is that
Like,
a focus? He just mentioned that to you. He wanted to share that with his dad.
Can't he be focused on more than one thing at a time?
yes, you can be focused. Anybody can multitask, correct?
That's silly, right?
Yeah. So like being attracted to another person doesn't take away from your studies
Yeah.
or anything else.
Silly. Like if Bish tells me like, "Hey Mel, I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm dating like a new woman," I'd be like, I don't want you to focus on that. Let's just not focus on that.
I ain't focusing on it.
Just work. Bish. Let's focus on or boom. I mean, like that's just silly. I said the wrong person.
That was silly.
That whole thing was silly. Sorry, I fucked up.
Like a 5-year-old, like, okay, I understand they have crushes, right? Cool, that's understandable,
Cool. So they wanted to share that with you. That's it.
right? That's understood. I get that, right? They want to talk to their dad about how they're feeling and who they're crushing on.
Yeah.
Understood.
Okay.
I just like why let kids be trans.
Wait, pause. So you're okay with that now? Like, is that what I'm understanding?
I get what y'all are saying.
Okay. So if that same kid, that same son came home and said, "Dad, I have a crush on a boy,"
It's still gonna be the same reaction. Like,
Good.
okay, if my kid comes home and like, just cause like, it's already known and documented.
Did you
studies
answer
show that kids have a short attention span?
Okay, can I ask for documentation of the kid's attention span? What that has to do with gender?
Huh?
I want to keep. You know what? I wish I had the confidence to go and say it's documented that this next thing I'm going to say is definitely true. Hey, you know what's true? 87.9% of stats are made up on the internet on the spot.
It's documented.
It's documented. I said it.
Okay, so where do y'all get y'all stats from?
Do you know what sarcasm is? You get
Wait,
angry?
wait, hold on. Where do y'all get your
That was
stuff from?
completely made up. That was made up.
That was sarcasm. That was the whole point. Oh my share. I'll be glad to give you whenever we give a study. We'll give you a source. Sure, 100%. That was.
Oh my god, I need to go get my kid from school. I'm gonna be late. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
Also, really quick, let's see who's live.
Who we got?
I don't know. It's showing me like. Why is it not showing me? Hold on.
I think Parker's live.
Oh, Parker was live earlier. I don't know what his topic is. Yesterday he was talking about. I don't know. I like Parker's live. Oh yeah, there's
It's usually a good topic either way.
He's good.
I don't see him. Is he not live?
He may have gotten banned again.
Well,
I love the person who says, I pray for you, spelled Prey. That feels like the most honest typo ever. You know?
Freudian slip of the thumbs.
Is he on a backup? If you guys can go find Parker, I don't know where he is, but you know who he is. Just say Mel Raid. He knows who I am. So anyway, see you guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Be good. Don't do drugs. Birds aren't real.
Mix you two up. I don't know why I do that. They're literally just names that start with B that are completely different.
I'm gonna go find my girlfriend.
Yeah.
I meant to say boom, not fish.
Yeah. Bye bye. Birds aren't real.
Bye, everybody.